Okay, meeting is called to order. Welcome to this Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council Special General Board meeting. Today is Sunday, May 16th. It is 6 p.m. I'm Sarah Clendenning. I'm the president of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. This meeting is conducted all via Zoom. So tonight you're going to be, there are three people who will be more prominent in this meeting. That would be me, Madam Secretary Fernanda Sanchez, she's the moderator, and then Mr. Vince Montalvo is the operator, what would it be called? Yeah, the digital operator of this meeting. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this meeting is being recorded. Remember that the code of conduct applies to this meeting, and all board members have read the code of conduct and understand the appropriate behavior expected as elected representatives of the community. All right, you should conduct yourselves in a civil, courteous, and respectful manner, and discourteous or inappropriate behavior is discouraged. Let's see. Should I talk about, okay, I'll talk about members of the public will be recognized by the president and or the moderator. All remarks should be directed to the neighborhood council board as a body rather than to any particular board member or any member of the staff. Or, yeah, and you should refer to the staff by title and or department. When speaking, please do so in a civil, non-argumentative, and respectful manner. Let's see. Public comment is not intended for a discussion between the neighborhood council and the speaker and should not be used for that purpose. All right. The moderator will be reviewing the participants panel to see who raised their virtual hand and keep track of the order to call upon for comment. When you are called upon by the moderator, you will be unmuted. If you wish to speak, please dial *9 or press the raise hand option in Zoom. All right. Secretary Sanchez, could you please do roll call?
Yes, I will now begin roll call. Sarah Clendenning.
Here.
Ben Wadsworth.
Present.
Legier Biederman.
Leger.
Leger.
I'm here.
Nancy Stella Soto.
Here.
William Rodriguez Morrison. Benny Madera.
Here.
Richard Larson. Richard Larson.
Here.
Annalie Haar.
Here.
Melanie Bolomo Shiflett.
I'm here.
Vicente Gonzalez Reyes.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Present.
Armida Marrufo.
1 second. I just saw her name come into the attendee and I just promoted her.
Armida Marrufo.
Present.
Victor Asanedo.
Present.
Diego Zapata.
Here.
Richard Ortiz.
Present.
Steve Lucero.
Here.
Lina Ruiz.
Here.
Selena Ortega.
Present.
Vincent Montalvo.
Present.
Erica Shu.
Here.
Thank you. And that is the end of roll call.
Okay, now I'm going to move on to item number 3, public comments on non-agenda items, 1 minute per person. If you're on the if you would like to comment on any item that's not on this agenda, please press *9. You'll have 1 minute to speak. Or you can, if you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand. You have 1 minute to speak. When you're unmuted, please clearly state your name for the record. I will be holding up a flashcard indicating when your time's running out. Yeah. All right, so we'll open it up to public comments right now.
Okay, it's gonna be, the first one up is the name on it's caller in user 1. You're being unmuted now.
I would like to know where on the website or anywhere where there's copies of supporting documents regarding this agenda. It appears there's none around. I requested them several days ago via email. None have been provided. So I'm just going to make it very clear to you. I plan to write a little letter to the city clerk's office saying under the bylaws, the supporting documents were not provided, and you can pass all the MPGs you want. It just won't get funded. I don't appreciate being treated like a second-hand citizen. I just find it very, very disconcerting that you can't provide or even show where the supporting documents are, like copy of the MPGs. I know one of the MPGs applicants has a suspended corporation, so I don't know how you're going to give.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, the next speaker is, let me unmute. Please state your name.
Good afternoon. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Coach Gabriel Cotero from Lincoln High School. And I just wanted to thank you guys for considering the MPG for the football team or the whole athletic program at Lincoln. And just putting it out there that we have great kids. And if you guys have the time to come and watch one of our games, you will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarah, there's no more hands raised for public comment.
Any more public comments? No? Please raise your hand now. Okay, so we're going to move on to item number.
And then you ask them. Anyone on the phone listener going to comment?
Is there-
I think there's 2 phone listeners.
Okay, let's look at the phone listener.
They're the same ones that would show up on here, but there's no phone listeners that wish to make public comment. But I'll remind them, if you're on the phone and you wish to make a comment, you have to use *9 on your phone.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to item number 4, community and board announcements, 1 minute per person. That would be, Vince, am I correct? Any community member who wants to make an announcement, or any board member, right?
Yeah, any board member or community member that would like to make an announcement, they can do so by pushing *9 if you're on the landline, or you can raise your little hand if you're using a computer or a laptop or something like that, any electronic device. So we do have one. Okay, and this, Sarah, do you want to do the public first or the board first?
I would like to do the public first.
Okay, so we have one from the public. Please state your name. You have 1 minute.
It's going to take less than 1 minute. My announcement is I don't see any supporting documents for this agenda, and I find that very hurtful. And it sounds like you're going to discount it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next public announcement.
Well, we should, there's no more public. I'll make the announcement again. For those that are calling on a phone, you can make a public comment by pushing *9.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see any, Sarah, so we can move to board member comment.
Okay, we're going to
board
move.
member announcement.
We're going to move to item. 1 second.
Well, we're still on number 4. Is there a board
We're on
member
number
that would
4.
like to make an announcement?
My hand
Give
is
me
up.
one.
Any board members that would like to make an announcement?
We share.
Raise your hand.
I just
want to respond and say all the MPG documents are listed under supporting documents under our agenda for tonight, every single one of them.
Yes, they
In
are.
response to the caller.
And that is on the website.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and then Vicente, hold on, Vicente Gonzalez.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm just excited to see that we have the most attendings from the 13 years that I've been in the neighborhood council of Lincoln Heights. This is like the most attendance we ever had, besides special events that the neighborhood council had. Just to sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicente.
Thank you.
Okay, any,
Okay, I don't see any more board members' hands.
okay, so with that, we're going to proceed to item number 5, seating of newly elected Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council members and oath of office. Ben,
Yes.
would you like to conduct the ceremony?
Uh,
I have a little oath.
no, you want me to give the oath of office here?
I have the oath here on the agenda. We could do that and raise our hands.
Okay. If all of our members would raise their hands and follow me on the pledge. I pledge to represent my neighborhood with dignity, integrity, and pride. I will encourage other points of view, even when they differ from my own. I will respect, value, and consider everyone's opinion. I will find the good in my neighborhood when they differ from my own. I will respect, value, and consider everyone's opinion. And praise it and promote it. To my neighbors and to my neighborhood throughout the city of Los Angeles, I pledge to do this to the best of my ability. Congratulations to all of our new members.
Yay.
And for and for a few of the older ones.
Well, congratulations, board members. You're now official neighborhood, well, you know, you have been ceremoniously sworn in as council members and seated. So with that, we're going to move on to item number 6, Budget and Finance Committee. Madam Treasurer, this would be your department, correct?
Hi, everyone. So we have quite a few MPGs on the agenda tonight. First, we're going to get a couple items out of the way. Am I going to be calling the votes for these items, or is Vince, just to clarify?
The treasurer, yes, the treasurer would take on.
Okay. All right, here we go. So the first item of agenda, and I guess to be clear, and before we get started with the MPGs, I would just like to remind everyone, if there's a conflict of interest, to please recuse yourself and let everyone know that you're making a recusal when that item comes up, because it's only for the item. And at that point, when you recuse yourself, you no longer count towards quorum. So everyone keep that in mind. As well, and I think from the get-go, I would like to go ahead and motion to move item 6K to position 6E. If I could get a second.
Does anybody second that motion?
I'll second.
So I call a vote on that motion, correct?
Well, first it's the motion is approved, so is there any board discussion? Does anybody have any questions on it? Before we do that, we also have to take it to the public for public comment and then a vote.
So are there any comments from the board members or discussion? No, and if not, are there any comments from the public? Do we have any hands up?
Just would make the announcement. If anybody has a public comment on the motion, you can use *9, and if you're using a laptop or a computer, the little hand icon. So we got one public comment, and I'm gonna ask to unmute. I'm gonna unmute you. Please state your name.
Thank you very much. I found the supporting documents. I greatly appreciate it. But there's one of them that is a suspended corporation, and I'll just take it up with the city clerk's office why it cannot be funded. I know it appears some people don't know what a suspended corporation is, but I'll just take it up with them, and I'll just make sure that Gunn knows that you guys don't do your due diligence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So with that, we'll go to a vote.
Yes. So we'll start with a vote to move the agenda item from 6K to 6E. So Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
me, Leger, yes. William is not here. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Richard,
Could you repeat which motion we're voting on right now?
to move item 6K to the first MPG to be voted on.
Oh, yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente,
Yes.
Armida,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard, Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
and Vincent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we will be moving item 6E to the first position of MPGs to be voted on. And I'm just gonna try and move through these if we, so the first item on the agenda is discussion and possible action to approve March and April MERS reports. These were generated by the city clerk's office. They were proxy payments, and they went to our storage unit and our website. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ben. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
One thing, just before we take the vote, we always got to
sorry.
go to board discussion and then public comment.
okay.
then vote.
So I'm sorry to jump the gun.
So
Um,
board members, if anybody would like to discuss this, please raise your hand.
Okay, we have one, Richard. Oops. Let me see.
No, I was that was not
Okay.
my hand raised. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
Okay,
have-
so there's no board, there's no no other board members on here, so we'll open it up to the public. If the public has a comment, you can do so by pushing *9. And if you're on a computer or laptop, you can use the little hand icon. Okay, not seeing any.
Okay.
Close public comment and vote.
We'll move on to a vote now.
Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
Leger, yes. Williams not here. Absent. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Abstain.
Erica, Erica,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente,
Abstain.
Armida,
Just want to confirm, this is the budget item?
this is approval of March and April MERS for payments to our storage unit and website.
So this also has to do with funding, right?
Sorry?
This has to do with funding?
Yeah,
And everybody, I'm concerned, did everybody get their trainings done in time to vote on these?
yes, I think everyone has. And if not, the city can confirm with us on Monday if they haven't. So Armida, your vote would be for, these are standard monthly expenditure reports that were just paid by the city, not even myself.
Yes.
Okay. Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Ortiz, thank you, sorry. Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So moving on, do I announce the total now?
Yes.
We have 2 abstentions, one absent, and the remaining are yes. Can I do it like that? 1, 2, 3, 4.
17.
Thank you. 17 yeses. 2 abstentions and 1 absent. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. So a discussion and motion to approve financial officer appointment and reappointment plus letter of acknowledgement. And I would like to motion to appoint Fernanda Sanchez as second signer and second bank card holder. She has completed her Zoom funding training and therefore qualifies as second signer.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Do we have any comment from the public?
Board first and then public.
Do we have any questions from the board?
There's none.
Any questions from the public?
If you're in the public and you wish to make a comment, *9 if you're using a landline, and computer or laptop, you can use the little hand icon. Not seeing any.
Okay, let's move to vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
Leger, yes. William is absent. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente,
Abstain.
Armida,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
So that would be 18 yeses, 1 abstain, and 1 absent, if I'm correct. So next on the agenda, this is to approve the invoices from Christina for March, April, and May. She's our website manager and posts all of our agendas. Her monthly fee is $155. We owe her for the past 2 months as well as for May, so that's totaling $465.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Sorry for all the, we're gonna do some voting. I'd like to open this up to the board for any comment.
No board comment.
Public,
If you're in the public and wish to make a comment, *9 or use the little hand icon. I see none.
Okay, let's go. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
Leger, yes. William is not here. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente,
Abstain.
Armida,
Yes.
thank you. Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve, Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have 18 yeses, 1 abstain, and 1 absent for that. Moving on to the next agenda item. So we need a Zoom license holder, and I would motion to appoint Fernanda as Zoom license holder. Is
I'll
there?
second.
Okay. Do we have any discussion or questions from the general public? Or sorry, from the board. The board first.
I
Victor,
have a question. Sorry, I didn't get to
Yes.
the raise. Yeah, I have a question on the committee meetings. I don't know who's involved in that, but over the years, we've had trouble with storing documents for our community and having documents available at meetings. Some of these are quite large. And that was never resolved by Dunn. Is Jackie here tonight? I don't see her. But at the beginning of this COVID Zoom era, the technical director for the department said that we would have cloud storage. I'd like for somebody to confirm that. We need about 1 terabyte, possibly 2, to handle all the documents just on land use.
I'm more than happy to confirm with Dunn that they're willing. I don't know if you meant by they were providing it and paying for it. If not, it should be on our next June meeting for a budget item. We definitely need cloud storage that's secure. Instead of using my personal Gmail or like my Gmail setup for Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. So that will be addressed in the next budget committee meeting. So you're welcome to attend and make sure that that all happens.
Okay, next board member is Victor.
Yeah, I was just, for point of clarification, what's a Zoom license holder?
Zoom, so that someone can open these meetings for us. Otherwise, we're relying on Dunn to show up and they don't always.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, next person is Vicente Gonzalez.
Vincente?
Yes. We have an office on the Lincoln Heights Recreation Center, Resource Center, across the street from the Lincoln Heights High School. And we just need the key for that to be able to store things there in our office. Just sharing, so we could look into that and getting that key so we could start storing things there in our office. Just sharing.
It's a good idea. I think Ben can answer more questions about that office and our access to it, but we definitely do.
Okay, there's no more board member comments. So we open it up to the public. If there's anybody in the public that wishes to make a comment, do so by pushing *9 if you're on a landline. And if you're using a computer, laptop, use the little hand icon. Not seeing any.
So we move to vote on this item to appoint Fernanda as Zoom license holder. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
Jay, yes. William is not here. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente,
Abstain.
Armida,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yeah.
So that's 18 yeses, yes, one abstain, and one absent. Okay. Thank you. The next item would be the one that we motioned to move. So it's it's item listed on the paper format of the agenda. It's item K under the agenda. We move to the front of the MPGs. The discussion and possible motion to approve an MPG application from Youth Film Productions requesting $2,800 to provide students with necessary tools for filming, video editing, and production. 1,000 for printing and marketing, 1,000 for web design, 800 for t-shirts and banners. The budget committee recommends, which was a vote held in April, $1,200. And at this point in time, I would like to remind everyone that they can motion to alter this amount, or we can vote on this amount. Or hold it. Hold it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Richard, is your hand up?
Yeah, I'd like to make
Yeah.
a motion. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to increase the fee to what it was originally. What we're talking about here is, could you tell me specifically what the funding was for? Leger?
Yes, it's to tools for filming, video editing, and production. 1,000 for printing, marketing, 1,000 for web design, and 800 for t-shirts and banners.
Okay, for those that may not know, the youth film production is responsible for what's going to be the 5th annual film festival, which involves mostly students from Lincoln High who have aspirations in media and production, and that is supported by the school in a number of ways. Also, Youth Film Productions hosts all the sports media for all the events for not only the Tigers, but the high school. And, you know, I strongly urge the council to provide as much funding as possible for this organization.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
Sorry, this is very annoying. Okay. Any other board comments on this item?
Okay. One, Ann Lee.
Annalee?
Yeah, I have a question. This is this program is ran by the gentleman that runs the Lincoln Star.
Correct.
Because I just I've heard from the different community members that have been had concerns with being solicited for money and been made to feel uncomfortable. I don't know. Anyways, something that I would personally like to do more research on. Anyways, I don't know. That's all.
Do we have any more questions from the board? Steve?
Yes, that's Steve.
Vince?
Who is the, just so I understand this, who is the budget committee?
The budget committee right now, in our April vote, it was myself, Ben, and Vince Rosales. Vince Rosales is no longer on the committee. And just to make this clear to everyone, we can vote on the recommendations made by the board and yes or no, and that can be an easy yes or no. We can motion to make it less or more, but if we motion to do something and make it more or less, then we have to go back to this original recommendation by the board and I vote on it as well. So I just want to remind everyone, if we vote no on the recommendation by the board, it's done with as an item. If someone motions to recommend an adjustment to that, then and there is a second on it, then we go to that vote and then go back to the recommended. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay.
Melanie?
Hi, I had a question. I know Richard Larson mentioned that they film all the football games and everything as well. Are they contracted through the school to do that? Do we know? Like, are they paid to do that? And these funds are purely just for the month-long film festival, or are these funds going for other resources throughout the year? Or is it just for that month or two? I don't know if anyone knows that.
And actually, is Michael Guerin here? He can answer these questions directly? No, okay. Otherwise, I would say there was an emphasis on the film festival in the application that everyone has access to the MPG application. Right, it's on our website, right under the agenda.
Okay, we have our Armida.
This film festival is the Lincoln Heights Film Festival. If we're not careful, this will be going to another location like say Eagle Rock. And how can we as Lincoln Heights community members allow a Lincoln Heights program to be going to another community? That's absurd. This gentleman came and he explained in previous meeting what the money and the monies were for. Okay, people who are interested in what his organization does could go check out his website. Okay, I would be very cautious about putting out there questionable doubts about what his paper does and what his paper doesn't do. You know, because that's going to raise a lot of other issues. This gentleman does and only works with the youth. He's been doing this for the past 5 years. No issues, no complaints, no problems. Why people are starting to look and find certain situations is beyond me. But the Lincoln Heights Film Festival should not be going to Eagle Rock or any other location. Think about that. And this is for the youth. Okay, think about that also.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to make a comment on the raising of the funds. In the city clerk training, we could not raise the funds in a meeting. We could only lower them. So the money would have to be voted on now, would have to be for the amount that's being requested on the agenda. Anything higher would violate a Brown Act.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We cannot recommend any more than they requested on their application. We can go higher than what the budget committee recommends, but we cannot go higher than the requested on the application.
We're going to go with the original 2,800, correct?
Sorry?
We're going to go with the original 2,800 requested, correct?
Right now, the motion would be for the recommendation from the budget committee. Unless there's another motion.
Okay, but he originally requested 2,800.
Right, and the budget committee recommended 1,200.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we can go to the public now?
Yes.
Okay. So if anybody in the public wishes to make a comment, you can do so by pushing *9 or raising the little blue hand.
I have my hand raised.
You've already commented on this issue.
Yes, I made a motion and it was ignored.
What are you motioning?
What I motioned was that the vote be for the original amount of the NPG. And I believe I heard a second there. So
Jared, what was the original amount for the MTG?
Original amount requested in the MBG for youth film productions was $2,800, and the budget committee recommended 12.
1,200? So we can't go higher than what's recommended on the agenda. On the agenda, what do we have on the agenda? 28?
We can't go higher than their requested amount of $2,800. You can go higher than the budget committee recommendation.
Okay, so at this point on the agenda, it does have the 2,800. Okay, the question now is that if we're going to take into consideration from the budget and finance committee, and they requested 1,200, what's in front of the board right now is does someone make a motion to accept what the budget and finance committee requested of 1,200? And if we accept that, that's the set amount. That's the amount we'll vote on. If that vote fails, we're voting on 2,800.
I have a motion on the floor, and I'd like to have a point of order called so that my motion can be responded to.
Your motion, Richard's already on there at 2,800. So that's what's being discussed right now.
Okay, thank you.
The simple thing is if any board member wants to take up the budget and finance committee's 1,200 suggestion, you can do so by making a motion. Someone has to second it. It'll be open for discussion, and if approved, we'll be doing the 1,200. If not approved, we'll continue on with the 28. So the question is, does anybody would like to make a motion to accept the budget and finance committee's 1,200?
Yeah, I motion to consider the budget's 1,200 amendment.
Okay, is there a second to it?
I'll second.
Okay, so now it's open for board discussion. If anybody would like to talk, because right now what we have is 2,800. The board just motioned right now to lower it down to 1,200. And if there's anything anybody has to say from the board, this is now the time to discuss. If not, we can move on to public comment.
I have one point of clarification, Vincent. It's my understanding that it's not clear to me that we had a second on the motion to move it to 2,800. And what is clear to me from Monica and Jackie is that we have the option as a council to vote only on the recommendation by the budget committee, yes or no. And that's one vote. We don't have to move it back to the requested amount to the from the organization unless there is a motion and a second to do so. Like I'm saying,
and that's what we're doing now, because the committees is only advisory. So the committee advised for 1,200. The problem is on our agenda, we also have 28, which was the original request. So all we're simply doing is accepting right now what Fernando's motion is, the budget and finances committee 1,200. That'll be solid, and then we can vote on the 1,200 now that the general board has accepted it.
okay, and depending on that response, because it's my understanding if we want to move through these with the budget committee recommendations and there's no adjustments to that, I am understanding from Jackie, from Dunn, and from the clerk's office that it's one vote. We don't have to go back to the requested amount.
Exactly, yeah. If we approve the 1,200 now,
okay,
it's just going to move on, and it's a simple financial vote on it. That's it.
And if we don't approve the 1,200 from Jackie and Monica, we don't have to vote on the requested 2,800 either.
Well, it'll revert back to the original 28 on the agenda. The only thing is that when it goes, the board members will have a right to oppose it or support it. So no matter what happens at the end, it's going to come down to the vote, whether they want to support it or not. Right now, because you have the budget recommendation of 1,200, the board has to accept it. That's the recommendation from the committee. The only one that can solidify that is the general board's full vote, right? And that's what we're going to do right now. Once that's approved, then we're going to just, if the 1,200 is what they're going to go on, there should be a secondary vote just to approve the final amount of 1,200 without reverting back. So we will not go backwards. If this is approved right now, We
if-
will not even be discussing the 2,800.
This is what my understanding is. If it's not approved and there is no motion to go back to 2,800, we do not have to. That's my clear understanding from downtown.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. That's what I'm saying. The committee made the recommendation of 12.
Okay.
The board is going to solidify it right now. It's going to make it official that we accept the recommendation from the committee.
Mhm.
There should be a secondary vote. That's the financial vote that you put onto the BAC, which is the board now accepting the 1,200 officially now.
Excuse
We're
me.
accepting the committee's. We're accepting the committee's recommendation.
Well,
with
I,
the motion that Fernandez just made.
I would differ on that. I had my hand up and I motioned to vote on the original amount when this came up. I heard another board member speak in favor of that, and I believe that's the motion on the table right now. Could we have a vote on that?
Leisure, we could look. What we can do right now, if we want to take that motion, is we vote on it as 2,800, and if the board supports it, they get 2,800. If the board doesn't, there's no money that goes to the project.
This is my order of understanding from Jackie. She said, if the board makes a recommendation to change the amount, we must vote on that. In the second, we must vote on that. If not, it goes back to the budget committee's recommendation and we vote on that. It's not approved, it's not approved. But that was the order of things that I was told from Jackie.
And
But
just
I'm not
so that is-
the expert.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying, like on here, that's what the original way we were gonna go right now, that we would have voted on the 1,200 recommendation by committee. The general board would be taking your recommendation, right? That's what we're just gonna do right now with Fernando voted on, or motion. Once we determine that that was the amount, then it's set. The only thing left after that is just to approve the 1,200, and it may get approved, it may not. That all depends on the board members.
Okay, so I need 2 BACs for this one vote. In this
No,
one.
you just need, you would just need one, and that's the one approving the 1,200.
I've already have a motion on the floor. I'd like to have some action on that. I made the motion. I heard a second. I'd like to have a vote on that. The discussion about the procedure is very interesting. And of course, the discussion with the city clerk and so forth on what the options are on the motion. But going back to my motion, which I brought up immediately as soon as this item came up, I heard someone speak in favor of the motion that I'd like to have a vote on. Choosing to provide this applicant with the full amount of the original NPG of 2,800, I believe it was. Thank you.
And Leger, if you wanna take that, I think that because of this is just my opinion on it, just because of the budget committee recommended the 1,200. I think if we go on the route that Richard's doing and we put 28, I feel that, I don't know how the board feels about it, but I don't know if it would be approved or not approved. So that's something we can consider. We can go on the route that Richard is asking right now on his motion to go forward on the 28. But if the board disapproves of that, that's it. The motion fails on it. So no funding. So we can go that way. If everyone's.
This is different. No, we vote on, if someone motions to increase the funds to the maximum amount and it's seconded, we vote on that. If that doesn't pass, we go back to what the budget committee has recommended. And we vote on that. If it doesn't pass that one, it's done.
Yes, we're talking about procedure, and that's exactly what we did. I made the motion to increase it to the amount that the applicant asked for, and I heard a second, and I believe we should be moving.
Let's just.
Okay, consideration and feelings aside, it was me who seconded the motion, but I guess people have selective hearing nowadays. Okay. So let's put consideration, let's put feelings aside, and let's go with what we're supposed to be doing. We're obviously, this is not going anywhere.
Point of order, we have many items on the agenda today. We're only at the beginning here. We have 3 hours allocated for this meeting. It's already 6:56 p.m. We've already cut into a third of our time. We need to move on. Let's figure this out.
There's a motion on the
Can you
floor.
control
There's
the
a
comments?
second. We should be going to a vote or a discussion right now.
Is there any discussion of the motion?
Oh, I had my hand up. This is Elena.
Okay,
Oh, I just wanted to say that I believe we can amend the motion. If we wanted to vote on the original 2,800, we can amend the motion and vote on that.
Yes, and I guess that's what Richard's doing.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Thank you.
So
so right now, if we're gonna go down the route of approving the 2,800 as requested in motion, second by Armida, what's in front of you is item number K for its original 2,800. A yes vote approves it, a no vote disapproves it. Is that okay, Legere?
and if a no vote is the vote, we will go back to the recommended 1,200 and vote on that.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Let's vote.
No, wait a minute. I don't understand why there's so much confusion about something, talking about what would happen if there's only one motion up for this, and I've made the motion, and I'd just like to hear the public weigh in, and can we proceed to a vote on it? Thank you.
Okay, Legere, let's start with board member comment. Okay, so the motion is to approve to the youth film production requesting 2,800. Okay, so let's open it up to board member comment. If there's a board member that wishes to comment on this, you can do so by raising your hand.
I have a question. Mr. Montalvo, what is your position if Ms. Legere is the treasurer?
Armida, please only talk when recognized by the chair. Thank you. Fernanda.
I just want to make it clear, both motions consider whether this NPG is getting 2,800 or 1,200. So I would like to just move forward with voting. We have a lot of items on the agenda and let it be it.
Thank you. And okay, she disappeared right now. Richard Ortiz, did you have your hand up? I just seen it go down.
I did, but I
Okay.
agree with Fernando.
Okay. Okay, so there's no more board member comments, and we open it up to public comment. If there's anybody in the public that wishes to make a comment, you can do so by raising your hand or pushing *9 on your phone. Okay, not seeing any. Okay, Legere.
Moving forward with sorry?
Yeah, just give everyone what we're voting on, just a brief what this vote is on.
Okay, so Richard motioned and Armida second that we move the YFP film productions to $2,800. Anyone can amend these recommendations by the budget committee. Once this motion is motioned and seconded, we're going to vote on $2,800 for the total for the youth film. And if that fails, we go back to the budget committee of $1,200. We get two options here, and both of them can be no, or the first one can be yes, or the second one can be yes. But that's, does everyone, is that clear to everyone? Okay, so should we move on, since we've already taken questions about this item from the board as well as the public? I would say we proceed to vote on this item. So $2,800 for YPF. Sarah?
No.
Ben?
No.
Fernanda?
No.
Leger? No. William is absent. Nancy?
No.
Benny?
No.
Erica?
No.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
No.
Melanie?
No.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Armida?
Yes.
Victor?
No.
Diego?
No.
Richard Ortiz?
No.
Steve?
No.
Lena?
No.
Selena?
I abstain.
Vincent.
No.
Okay. So we would, just to make clear, we have 1 absent, 2 yeses, and 2 abstains, and the rest no's. So no. So we'll move back to the board recommended of $1,200 for that vote. Vince, do I need to take board comments, or have we've already discussed it?
No,
Okay,
we
thank
just make a motion to accept the 1,200 now, and then we'll go through board comment, public comment, and then vote.
Okay, so motion to accept the 1,200. Do I have a
I'll second.
Thank you. So opening up the floor to board comment.
Liz, I have a question. How much funding do we have to allocate this year again, just as a reminder?
If we want to roll over $10,000 for next year, we have about, I have it written down right here. We have, I think it's 24,300 in MPGs to allocate if we want to roll over 10,000, which I assume we all do. Any other questions? Richard?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I've never attended one of these film festivals.
Me neither, but anyone else?
I have. The film festival attracts people from all over. It involves many other communities and high schools, but mainly it's representative of the youth that are striving to make an impact in the entertainment industry in various aspects of filmmaking. They write the films, they act, they star in them. It's a professional endeavor, and it's very encouraging for the students at Lincoln High that are interested in basically being so close to the entertainment industry, but being locked out of it for one reason or another by lack of funds, lack of support, and a disinterested public.
Okay, thank you.
One would think you live in Lincoln Heights, you would attend those festivals.
And
Just for the record, so we don't, just let me make one announcement. Just so we don't have to mute, just don't interrupt and wait for your guys' turn and raise your hand, because we do need to keep time with the meeting, and we do need to make sure that everyone gets the same amount of time to speak.
Point of
Thank you.
order, you have to be recognized by the chair. You have to raise your hand to speak. The chair or the, all right?
Yeah.
And please keep the comments civil. Snarky comments will not be tolerated.
Okay,
We have any more comments from the public regarding this motion?
Let me see. For the public, you press *9 or raise your little hand. Not seeing any.
So we would move to vote at this moment. So this is for $1,200 for youth film productions. Sarah?
No.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
I just want to clarify, a yes vote is accepting a 1,200. A no vote is refusal of, I'm sorry. Okay, no.
vote, no funds.
No.
So Leger, no. William Rodriguez is absent. Nancy?
No.
Benny? Benny?
Sorry, abstain.
Okay. Erica?
Abstain.
Sorry?
Abstain.
Okay. Richard Larson? Richard Larson?
Yes, I don't know who keeps muting me.
Yes is your vote, Richard?
Yes is my vote. Thank you.
Annalee?
No.
Melanie?
No.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Armida?
No.
Victor? Victor?
But no.
Diego?
Abstain.
Just to be clear to everyone, an abstention is a yes vote. Diego, abstain. Richard Ortiz,
No.
Steve,
No.
Lena,
No.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
No.
Okay, let me do the math. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 11 no's,
Point of clarification,
4 abstentions, hold on, and 1 absent.
point of clarification.
Sarah, do you recognize?
You have 1 minute.
Point of clarification.
You're recognized. Speak. Richard, you speak.
Yes, I heard Leger say that there was 4 yays. I didn't hear 4 yays.
Ben Wadsworth, Richard Larson, Armida, and Selena said yes.
Is that true, Armida? That was your vote?
She said no.
I thought she said no as well.
I'm confused how this vote went. We need
I heard
to.
no from Armida.
Armida, can you clarify your vote for the $1,200 for youth film productions?
No.
It's no vote. Okay, so sorry. Thank you for everyone watching. It's a lot of new things for me too tonight. So we have 3 yes votes for 1,200, 12 no votes for 1,200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 abstentions and 1 absent. So that's a no. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. So this is a discussion and possible motion to approve MPG application from Lincoln Heights Tutorial Program requesting $5,000. This is $2,100 for virtual high school staff tutoring stipends, $2,900 for operational expenses that include grocery supplies for food pantry and other school giveaways. The budget committee recommends $4,000, and I think we have a representative from Lincoln Heights tutorial program here. And
Is there a name so I can look from the attendees and?
It should be Tren, or they were here earlier and they said their hands up.
Okay. So we'll allow them to speak. Please state your name.
2 minutes.
And one more thing before anybody, let's just make sure that everyone knows that if anybody has any type of conflict of interest, the process is simply to, state it and then turn your screen and your mic off.
It's
okay.
1 minute. How many minutes does the presenter get?
2 minutes.
That's up. Yeah, that's up to you.
Oh, it's up to me.
If you want to change it, that's what I give them. But you still.
Okay. So is the presenter present?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Oh, you can hear us? Okay, great.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity to receive funding. This is Dennis Ortega. Trin is also with me.
Hi, everyone.
And we're the executive director and program directors of the Lincoln Heights Tutorial Program. And so, as you know, coming out of COVID and going into a non-COVID environment, every nonprofit obviously is hurting for funds and looking for funds. And so we're really grateful to be able to apply for funding from the neighborhood councils. So I think key stuff is obviously even during the COVID era, we were busy making sure that we adjusted our programs just to serve the community. So we've done 8 food pantries on our own and using certain funds that we had that partnered with that. We've done 4 mobile medical clinics and providing over 1,160 Moderna vaccines to our neighborhood, bringing the vaccine to the community instead of the community having to go find the vaccine and so forth. And so we have the ability to adjust our programs according to what's going on in any particular time. But our main focus always is serving children. So we've been doing that virtually, our teens, serving them virtually as well through Zoom. And so it's a joy to be able to adjust that and do that and so forth. But the grant here obviously will be helpful. We are now obviously, as the rest of the world is transitioning out of COVID and going into in class and so forth, having live programs again. There's a need for funds. And so these funds will help us with material supplies, And I think in the original grant, it's a little bit off. It says groceries, but it was for our grocery pantries, where we also gave out school supplies to the community, to children. So while we were giving out groceries, we were also purchasing school supplies that were needed and providing those to the parents at the same time. And those were part of that material supplies going forward, but also material supplies for classrooms and all that we need in order to have the ability to tutor kids now who will be coming in person. So it's a grant for what's coming up, obviously.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you guys showing up to so many meetings.
Sometimes.
It's taken us a while to get here. I would like to start up by making a motion. Can I do that?
Yeah.
I would like to motion for $5,000 to Lincoln Heights tutorial program.
I second that.
We have a second, so we should open up to the board comments about the motion for $5,000 for Lincoln Heights tutorial program. Do we have board comments?
Sarah, did you have a comment?
I would like to say Lincoln Heights tutorial program. It's behind the church, next to the Rite Aid there. It's like a multi-purpose space, but they did vaccines, they do the tutoring, it's after school for the kids to learn or to get free tutoring. They have like as a nonprofit, they don't pay themselves $150,000. They basically operate on nothing, which I respect. Yeah, it's a really programs of benefit to the community in a big way. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Sarah. Armida?
Stipend means a regular fixed sum paid as a salary or allowance. We're not to be paying anybody's salaries or allowances.
We're not paying salaries. We're not paying,
He said stipend and pantry. We don't pay for salaries and allowances.
a stipend is not operational expense. I clarified this with the clerk's
The
office.
definition of stipend is a fixed regular sum paid as a salary or allowance.
Point of order. It has been clarified with the city clerk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
Do we have any public comment?
If anybody in the public wishes to make a comment, you can do so by pushing *9 if you're on the landline, and use the little blue hand icon if you're on a computer or laptop. 1 second. Please state your name.
Hey there, it's Lena. I switched over to my iPad. Do you mind letting me back in? Sorry, to vote.
Let me see.
Thank you.
What's your name again?
Selena Ortiz.
Okay, let me put it back up to panelists. It's not letting me. Okay. Okay. So
Thank you.
I have none in the public, or no public comment.
And they took that off of the.
Noted. So this is a $5,000 MPG for Lincoln Heights tutorial that we're voting on right now. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Leger? Yes. William is absent. Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalie?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente?
Abstain?
Armida?
No.
Okay. Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
Abstain.
Sorry. Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Vincent?
Yes.
So we have 1 no, 2 abstain, 1 absent, 1, 2, 3.
16.
16 yeses. Perfect. Moving on to the next agenda item. So this is discussion and possible motion to approve MPG application for Northeast Trees. Requesting $5,000 to provide intern stipends for Lincoln Heights youth aged 16 to 22 to work towards natural resource management and conservation in Flat. The budget committee recommends $3,000.
Check with the city stipend, Charlotte.
Hi, sorry, before the conversation begins, I'd like to recuse myself. I work for Northeast Trees, so I don't want to sway the board at all because of that. So, sorry, I'll be turning myself off.
I know, but saying you couldn't.
Okay, thank you. All right, so
Just a reminder to everyone, if you guys can mute yourselves so that we don't get no feedback in the background, 'cause we're picking up some stuff. And
well, I'm under the impression that there's no presenter for this item.
There was going to be someone who showed up. Do we have anyone in the participant section to present a possibility of an intern with Northeast Trees?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second. Please state your name.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm an intern with Northeast Trees, but I wasn't supposed to give a presentation. It was just a public comment. I don't know if you still want me to speak.
That's up to the president. She can speak now, or you can hold her for public comment, and that would be soon.
I mean, you can speak now. I'll give you 1 minute if you want to start now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, my name is Melanie. I'm an intern with Northeast Trees, and I'm also a Lincoln Heights resident. I've been with the nursery for about 7 months, a little over. And I think in my time there, the time and everything I've done there have been really rewarding, not only for me, but I think for like the flat top as well. Seeing the seeds that we collect from flat top and all the nurturing that has to go into the plants and seeing them grow and put them back into the area has been really great. And you see how it helps wildlife and the people there. A lot of people have said that the flat top has been getting like more beautiful, I guess, the word. And not only that, I think seeing that the nursery also, seeing them, I'm sorry, hire people from the community, because the other intern that's that works alongside me is also from Lincoln Heights. Seeing them hire us and then also invite people from the community, especially students, is amazing. And that's the program I thought I really wish I would have had when I was in high school. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Melanie?
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any motion?
So now we need a motion and then a board member and then public comment.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
For the amount recommended.
Is there a second?
I have my hand raised.
Oh. Sarah, do you recognize Richard?
I recognize you.
Okay.
Why am I the only person that needs to be recognized? I'm a board member. I was elected here. I'm trying to remain.
Your comment, please.
Yeah, well, my comment is I'm wondering who's running this meeting.
It's me. I'm the president, and then it's the secretary, Fernanda, and Luce.
I'm just saying I'm getting muted and I'm getting asked whether or not I'm the only person that needs to be recognized. I just don't understand the procedure here. Thank you. Seems kind of
Okay.
awkward. Thank you.
Okay, so we have the motion made by Ben for the amount recommended, correct?
Yes, that's what's on the floor right now.
Okay, so that's on the floor, and then so we need a second.
I second that.
Okay,
Okay.
do we have any board member comments, questions? Victor, you have your hand up?
Yes, point of clarification, the recommended is 3,000, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
It's for 2 interns and the money needs to be spent pretty quickly in this budget year. So that's 1 month, I think.
So we have one motion on the table that's for 3,000 for the recommended amount. If somebody wants to motion for the full amount, can they do it now or did they do it later?
I think
No, it's just what's on the agenda, which is 3,000.
Okay, so
5,000 was their requested amount.
yeah, so we're just voting on 3,000 then.
The motion to move it to 5,000 would have to happen now, I think. Right, Vince?
Right.
Yeah, it would have to happen now. I think, Ben, you went on the 3,000 or did you go on the 5,000 in your motion?
I went on the 3,000.
3,000. That's the motion that's approved that's on the floor right now.
Fernanda, is that what you meant to second? The 3,000?
I didn't
Selena
second that.
Ortega seconded.
I seconded it, and yes, I meant to, it was for the 3,000.
Okay. That's on the floor now. Do we have any motions or?
I have my hand up.
Hold on, Melanie.
I'd like,
Melanie?
can I speak? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to motion for the full amount requested by Northeast Trees.
Okay, Melanie is motion for the full $5,000. Do we have anyone else to second that?
I second.
Sorry, someone's Victor or who seconded?
Richard Ortiz.
Richard Ortiz seconded that. So we would open this up to the board at this point to for comment on the $5,000 amount.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. Leger, how does this fit in with your plans on having funding that will pass on to next year? We have voted, I think, at least once already on the maximum amount. I'm just wondering how much funds we're going to have left by the passage of all these motions at maximum amounts. It just doesn't look like it's being well managed.
Well, thank you, Richard.
Sorry.
The maximum amount we can vote on is 24,300. I think we're in our range. So right now.
Let's continue, please.
Any other public comments from the board? If not, do we have public comments?
If you're
Okay.
in the public, you could push *9 or use the little hand icon. Not seeing any.
We'll vote.
Okay, here we go. We're voting on 5,000 for Northeast Trees. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
No.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Leger, yes. William is absent. Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente? Is Vincente?
Vincente.
He's not in the room anymore.
Okay, I'll ask again. Armida?
No.
No. Victor?
Yes.
Diego, or sorry, he is recused. Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
Abstain.
Abstain. Vincent?
Yeah.
Right. One moment.
Vincente, is he back?
He's back. He's trying to get back in. Do you see Vince on there? Or Vicente?
Give me 1 second. Okay, I got him here. I'll move him to panel.
Thank you.
Oh, is he here? Hi, Vincente.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Vincente, what's your
Okay.
vote on the $5,000 for Northeast Trees?
Oh, abstain.
Okay, thank you. So we have two no's, 2 abstains, correct? 1 absent, 1 recused.
14.
Richard, please.
14 yes votes. So pass, $5,000. Okay, moving into the next agenda item. G, discussion and possible motion to approve MPG application for Healing Urban Barrios requesting 4,500, 1,500 for art supplies, canvas, paint, paper, and camera, 1,000 for printed materials and website, 2,000 workshops, training, and community events. The budget committee recommended 2,000. And there might be a representative, I'm not sure, on our attendee side.
There is a representative in the attendee. Raise your hand. I don't see any.
Okay.
Lejay, are you making a motion?
Sure. Yeah, I'll motion to approve the $2,000.
Okay, I'll second.
We move. Do we have board questions? No? Okay. Any public comments? Questions?
Anybody in the public, *9 to make a comment, or the little blue hand? None?
Okay, so we're gonna vote for, this is $2,000 for Healing Urban Barrios. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Lejay, yes. William is absent. Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Armida?
No.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Vincent?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 absent, 1 abstain, 1 no, and the remaining are yes for $2,000 for Healing Urban Barrios. One,
That's 17.
17 yeses then. It is. So moving on to the next agenda item, that's discussion and possible motion to approve MPG application for Operation Street Kids requesting $4,500. 2,250 is for program staff, 900 for teaching artist stipends, 350 for marketing, 500 for refreshments and transportation, and 500 for a projector. And the budget committee recommends 2,250. Sorry, guys, budget committee won't always have this many items. It's just the end of the year. We haven't done anything so far. Get that out there. Do we have any representatives from Operation Street Kids?
Point of order, Lejay, I believe the motion needs to be made first and seconded.
Okay, well, I just was asking if we had a representative from Operation Street Kids to give.
Okay, because I can move it if nobody else will. I'll move for the recommended amount of 2,250.
Okay, I'll second.
Board comments?
Richard? Sarah? I'm just saying the names, because I want to make sure I can, if someone needs to be unmuted. So
Richard,
just let
yeah.
me know.
It's very curious. After my name is read, then people ask Sarah whether it's okay if I speak or not. I mean, that's really kind of weird. I'm the only person I happen to be
Can we stay on topic?
sensitive about that. Well, I mean, at the beginning, we all took an oath, I believe, to allow everybody's participation. I'm just kind of curious why I'm the only one that needs a green light before I get to speak.
Speak on the topic, please.
Yes, I'd like to know something more about this organization. Otherwise, I won't be able to vote on it. Have we ever had an NPG from this organization before, Leger?
No, we haven't, but we've had their application on file for quite some time. And it's been available to every board member since April to read through. They even sent an addendum to their application clarifying things for us, so.
Okay. Richard, do you have a comment back?
Yeah, I can't vote on it without knowing anything about this operation.
Okay, you had to do due diligence and then read that application, which was it's been available for a while now.
We have Julie here.
It's not me. I'm representing people, and I'd like to know if they had an opportunity.
Point of order, we have
That's
Cindy
all. I can't vote on something just because it's not about me or my personal opinion or something. It's about I have to.
The data was publicly available on the website.
We have
I'm just asking a simple question. If it's publicly available, then every board member should have an answer for it. That's all.
from Operation Street Kids.
Yeah, I still haven't heard anything about Operation Street Kids. Thank you.
Is in the attendee side, and she's from Operation Street Kids and would like to present.
Okay, so Richard, you've had your time. Any more board comments? You see any?
Hold on, if we have an attendee that can make a presentation before it, I think we should let them go and do it.
Okay.
That way they may answer some of the board members' questions.
Okay. So
Okay, who's if the representatives and the attendees, can you please raise your hand?
Julie Matsumoto.
Okay, Julie.
Yeah, I can.
So Julie gets 2 minutes.
If it's Julie, please state your name.
Hello, Julie.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm Julie Matsumoto with Operation Street Kids, and we're a community-based nonprofit that mentors young people through the media arts and film production. And I'm also here with Joseph Sanchez, who's the founder and executive director.
Thank you, everyone. It's really an honor to be able to communicate with you guys, and you guys are doing a wonderful job. And so basically, we've been doing this work for the last 30 years, and we have a collaboration with the high schools, and we chattel young people with Santa Monica College, who just built the last 2 years. They built a $35 million complex just for entertainment. So what we do is we get young people that want to get into the entertainment at high school, and they shadow the college, the Santa Monica College, when we do the film productions. We have done over 19 films already. 5 of them have gone to Cannes. We have gotten young people that are into the industry. We're working right now with Nickelodeon, and we've had kids go into the show there. And we also have worked also with a number of films. One was Honey Boy with Shia LaBeouf. We just finished one with Dave. And so our whole concept is to be able to open doors for young people that are less fortunate of color, and into the entertainment. And we prepare them for that. I'm sorry, many of you have not heard of us, but we've been around for a number of years. And if you could look into our work, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see the dynamics that we have had.
And also we want to add that we have been working with Lincoln Park, and our last project that we did, we were actually volunteering with our friend who's a fashion designer, Renee Camarillo, and we trained teenagers from Lincoln Heights to a model in a runway fashion show. And it's something that we're really looking forward to doing again once the pandemic and we get through that. But we have a partnership with Lincoln Park.
Yeah, and one of the things also is that we're touching bases with young men and women that do animation. The guru who came up with the concept of Scooby-Doo, he's on with us. He's retired, and he's teaching us how to open doors for young people for that. He's also the one that did a Garfield series. And so we're so excited to be able to plug these people into the networking them into, you know, our backyard. The industry is our backyard. We gotta let them play there. We've been doing this now for the last 20, 25 years.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
No, thank you guys. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And it's good to see you guys are young too. Wonderful.
Kind of old. Thank you so much. So Leger?
Yeah, so we have the recommended amount for this MPG was $22.50. Do we have any motions to amend that or proceed with
There was
voting?
already a motion to approve the 2250. That's what we're on right now.
Okay,
And a second.
there was, okay.
Yeah. And then we went to presentations, so we can go back to like board member comments, and because there's a couple of comments from board members.
Okay, so Fernanda? Any,
I'd like to motion for the original amount requested on the application. They seem to be a great network for the youth in our community.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
Hold on.
Okay, so we have a second. So now the motion on the floor is for their original requested amount, which is $4,500. Do we have any comments from the board?
The original? How
Hold
much
on,
was the
Richard.
original?
Hold on, Richard was next, and then Armida.
Thank you, Vincent. So I just had a couple of questions. One was this $35 million complex you mentioned. That's KCRW, isn't it?
No, that's Santa Monica College.
Yes, KCRW is on the same campus of the Santa Monica College Center for Media and Design.
And they just
And
have, I'm sorry, I just had a quick question. So they're the ones that had the $35 million building built as the new headquarters for KCRW. Is that not true?
No, no, it's based for the school.
Well, KCRW is housed there, but we have a partnership with the film production component of that campus.
Okay, thank you. So you're associated with KCRW. That building in, I'm pretty familiar with KCRW. I produced a show there for years.
Oh, great, great.
Yes, I know almost everybody over there. I don't know if I should be voting on this. But at any rate, the question I had was, could you explain how the funds that we spend with your NPG, we need to show how that directly relates to our community. I do understand the connectivity, and KCRW is a great station. They're purveyors of style all across not only the West Coast, but the United States with very few other stations. And I'm just kind of curious, we're East Siders over here, and we have questions about how we spend our public funds. These are
of course.
We had a program that we went into over, they call it Eloyo, which is on 50th.
Like how we were dealing with the funds that you're receiving from other sources. Thank you.
KCRW is it doesn't have I went to school at the design center there, and it's totally it's like there, but it's not. They're separate. It's like on the same campus, but there's definitely a whole design and media school that's there. It's just like KCR. I don't really think that they're.
Well, no, I think we just heard that they're in the same building, which was provided by donations to KCRW under the original management team over there. It's a fantastic operation, but I'm just wondering that a couple of things. One, that they're being publicly funded over there at KCRW. That whole building and all the facilities were built with local West Side donations, and here we are. We're on the other side of town, and we're just asking, you know, how will funding this program directly affect our community? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the applicants. So how does your project directly contribute to Lincoln Heights? I guess is the question. Vince?
Yeah, and I hit their unmute button, but for some reason it muted them.
Okay. I mean, they said that they participate in Lincoln Park and
Yes. Can
Okay,
you hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Okay, so what we're proposing is to reach out to young people in the Lincoln Heights community. And we're proposing to do several pop-up events, which would be entertainment industry panels, mini film festivals, engaging the youth in Lincoln Heights. And Joseph only mentioned that we affiliate with Santa Monica College because we have been able to get a number of underserved young people into the film program there. But our goal is to really focus on Lincoln Heights and to reach out, mentor young people who are interested in any aspect of the arts, media, and film production. And then we will be, we're proposing to put on several pop-up events with Lincoln Park, where young people can meet filmmakers, meet cinematographers, just learn about opportunities in the industry. And we do have our own network that we can plug young people into. If they want to learn about working on a film set, we can plug them in. We have a number of films that we're collaborating with a filmmaker. So one of them that's coming up is with the AFI, and we're placing 3 young people to work on the set, and that's coming up this week. So we want to provide those opportunities to the youth in Lincoln Heights.
Thank you. Okay. So
Okay, our last board comment is from Armida.
So let me get this straight. They are proposing reaching out, which means the future. We haven't heard much from these people, and yet we voted the LA Film Festival of Lincoln Heights for the amount of money it was reduced. I mean, I'm thoroughly confused as to who's getting what. Why are they getting a certain amount of money, and why is nobody questioning the fact that there was an agency who's been doing this for 5 years, and all they asked for a small amount of money, and it was clearly denied. And somebody else coming here with the proposal, which means future of Lincoln Heights.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Ann Lee.
Um,
Anna Lee. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so when
Who we're doing it for, ourselves or for the community?
I'm speaking.
Don't cut me off next time. Don't do that.
I mean,
Point of
we,
order. Code of
yeah.
conduct. I'll warn you once.
All right.
You don't need to warn me.
1 second, Secretary Fernanda Sanchez, please.
It takes you and Vincent to kind of delegate who can speak and who cannot speak. That is totally inappropriate. Okay, make sure you have an understanding as to who is running this meeting. I will not be having by any one or more than 2 people. So why don't, who is running the meeting will solve all the problems.
Vince.
That's disrespectful to mute. I see you're muting people arbitrarily. It looks like exhibiting bias. I don't think that's a very good look for the first outing here by this council.
Totally inappropriate, totally inappropriate. And I want a meeting so I could share with everybody.
So Sarah, at this point, you can call the Code of Civility.
Code of
And
Civility.
if it continues to go on, there's no other thing but to censor.
We're gonna have to censor. Okay, so Code of Civility, Madam Secretary Fernanda Sanchez, can you please take note? We will censor and remove any members that continue to disrupt the meeting. This is your first warning. If it happens again.
Noted. I have also noted the threatening language used against Annalee Har. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let's.
Annalee?
So I just wanted to, at the beginning, when we introduced this item, it said that the funding would go, the first thing it said was the funding would go for staff. Was I hearing that correct?
The funding would go to stipends for staff for this specific event at the Lincoln Heights Park.
So what exactly does that mean? Can you clarify? Because
there is an addendum to their MPG application specifically explaining this, that it's not used for operational expenses, that it's used for teaching artist stipends and program staff to make this happen at Lincoln Heights Park.
It's a responsibility of all board members to read attached documents and supporting documentation on the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council website at the link associated with the agenda.
Okay.
And at this point, if we had, do we have any public questions?
Okay, let me open it to public comment. If anybody in the public has a comment, push *9 or or use the little hand icon. Not seeing any.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is $4,500 of MPG up for Operation Street Kids, and we're going to commence voting. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
No.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Leger? Yes. William? Absent. Nancy?
Yes.
Benny Madera?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
No.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Armida?
No.
Victor?
No.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, I love they work with local artists already in Lincoln Heights.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
No.
Vince? Sorry, my cat.
Yes.
So we have one absent and one abstain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no's.
13.
13 yeses. Thank you. Thank you so much for attending tonight. So moving on to the next agenda item, which is discussion and possible motion to approve NPG application from Lincoln Heights Northeast Tigers for $5,000.
Should I exit?
They're requesting $27.25 for helmets, $16.30 for field permits, and $6.45 for gym pads, and budget committee recommends $33.70. I'm not sure if we have a representative from Lincoln Heights Northeast Tigers here tonight. Do we have Francesca's hand up? So, and I would just preface that this is a 501c3 organization that works with kids in Lincoln Heights, youth, I think 14 to 18, but Francesca can explain.
Okay. Please state your name.
Hi, Francesca Pietzmeyer.
Hi, thank you so much for attending.
Hi, good evening. So we're the Northeast Lincoln Tigers here in Lincoln Heights. We service children from the ages of 4.5 to 14. We have 5 teams for football with roughly 25 to 30 athletes per team. and about 45 to 55 cheerleaders per season. So we're about 200 athletes total. Our 14U division is coached by LAPD. So our 13 and 14 is usually like a determining age group, whether, you know, they go the right way or the wrong way. So we have LAPD fund that that particular team where they coach it and they're more hands-on and they're on the field with us. And due to COVID, with not participating last season, some of our equipment has expired and everything. So we would need the funding to replace a majority of our equipment to move forward with this season.
Leger, you're muted. Please unmute yourself. Okay.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you so much, Francesca, for coming here tonight. Do we have any questions or comments from the board or?
Well, before we start that, we got to ask the question of if anybody has any conflict, they have to turn off their screen and the
Thank you.
their voice.
Does
I
anyone?
think, hold on, I have two people, Selena Ortega.
Oh, hi, can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I just wanted to recommend that we, or I don't know if I can make a motion at this point, but I wanted to know if we can up the amount that we'd be giving to 5,000, which is the original amount that they wanted, or the full amount that they wanted. I've personally seen these youth groups practice. I don't know where they practice now, but they used to practice at the Lincoln High School football field. And they really, a lot of the youth that are part of this organization do come from a particular socioeconomic background that doesn't allow them or their parents to contribute financially. So I know that this money does go a long way.
Okay, right now, does anybody, Benny, does anybody have a conflict of interest? That's what we need to ask first and then get through the motions and all that.
You sound.
Benny?
I'll second the motion to bump it up.
I have a question. Is Lincoln Heights Northeast Tigers, that's a nonprofit, correct?
Yeah, and I have a question. The only, or maybe a comment, the reason that the board recommended 3370 and not the total requested is because we're not typically allowed to give permits, city permits or field permits to high schools. So that was we recommended for the total of the helmets. Maybe Ben, if he's still here, he can clarify. We recommended for the total of the helmets and the gym pads, but no field permits, but perhaps.
I'm sorry, Leger. We also pay like for permits through Muni Sports, and that's through LA Park and Rec, and that's for us to use like the park facilities such as Lincoln Park, Hazard Park, or Rose Hills. Whoever can field us. So I'm not sure if that would make a difference as far as if it's LAUSD or city, if that made a difference.
Thank you. Maybe Ben Wadsworth, can you clarify this?
That was why we held back on that, was because of the question of paying for their permits.
So the motion on the table is?
It's because we asked the question before. It's right now we have there's no motion on the table.
Okay.
So if someone makes a motion, we can get it started.
So I would motion for the 3370.
Wait, I believe there is a motion on the table.
Okay.
Because Selena moved for 5,000 and I seconded it.
That's correct.
Okay.
So there's a motion on the table for the full amount of $5,000. So we should open the floor for discussion from the board.
Okay, the first one I had up was Diego.
Thank you. So yeah, I had a question regarding the field permits, 1630 for field permits. And I think Francisca, is that how, yeah, you clarified. Are we legally allowed to support and allocate money for field permits? I'm still unsure, unclear about that.
Ben, would you like to speak to this?
To the best of my knowledge, we weren't, but I haven't seen anything from the city clerk. So I don't know if Leger has heard anything different.
I don't know on this one.
Okay.
Sorry. No.
Let's move forward here. So we have a motion on the table for 5,000. It's been seconded by Benny. Board comments? Any raised
Okay,
hand?
the next person is Armida.
I'm sorry, what happened?
You have your,
This is board members' comments on.
No, I don't have my hand raised.
okay.
Oh, okay, let me lower it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Melanie?
Thank you. If they're not able to use those funds for field permits, I know they were very specific in their request, like kind of laying out exactly how much funds were going to be used for what. So if they aren't able to use them for field permits, is it okay? Like, are we good to then just approve for the full amount if that motion passes and they're able to use it for something different? I'm sorry for my novice here. I just wanted to clarify that.
Ben, you want to speak to that?
Sure. I mean, there's always room. There's always funds needed, in Little League. And we're not just talking about, 5 teams of boys. We're also talking about, the girls. And so between the traveling and all, I happen to know that it's very widespread. For example, I don't know, gasoline might be something it can be used for, since the kids compete against far away places. But maybe Francesca can speak on that.
Yes, sorry, I apologize. Our cheerleading program, they compete in a national competition that's in Las Vegas, and that just to register the girls, if they do qualify for that competition, is 120 per girl. Usually we try our best to fundraise. I always say money shouldn't be an issue. We'll find out, or there's a will, there's a way. And like I said, last year we had about 52 girls, so we were able to take both teams to nationals. We figured it out. And also on the football level, our boys have been invited to the Ram Stadium a few times, and we've, tried our best to fundraise to get buses and stuff to, get the boys there all together. Our 14U division did go to the Super Bowl championship. So we figured out a way to get them bused to, like, I think it was Moreno Valley all together. So yes, the full amount, it would help tremendously. This was my first time filling it out. Permits is usually a struggle for us to pull, so I wasn't sure what I could or could not itemize on there. Like mentioned prior, it is a struggle to get parents to pay a registration. Sometimes we don't get kids paid off until the season's over, because they can give us, $20 to $30 every other month or every other week, just to get them to participate.
Okay, thank you. Next, board member Richard.
Yeah, hi, thank you. One of the reasons, just for my fellow council members here to know, that we need information on these NPGs in terms of specifics, because we don't want to be inadvertently involved in a conflict of interest where the NPG is actually going for a function that the applicant is going to be spending money in something that we're involved in. So I think if one of our people here who know about those things, like Ben Wadsworth, maybe you could speak up on that topic of what are the requirements for an NPG applicant and whether or not we can just say they can spend money on anything. That'd be great.
Oh, well, let Leger comment on that, since her training is most recent.
I have a question. My hand is raised.
Hold on, Leger, right now, just Leger, if she can answer it.
I would think to the best of my knowledge, and that's to the best of my knowledge, since we don't have a Don rep here to answer that question for us, it would be fine. But I'm only here for 2 months, so that's my answer.
Okay. So
Okay,
we need to move forward now. It's 8 o'clock. We only have 1 hour left and we have many items on the agenda. Let's come to a vote on this. Any
okay.
Board member questions?
Yeah, I have my hand raised.
Okay, Armida?
I heard Benny Madera say we. Are you part of that organization, Mr. Madera?
I am not.
Okay, he's not. So is that the question? Do we have any more board questions? No?
I meant to
I think,
ask this
yeah.
before. If it's too late, it's fine. That's okay. I just had a quick question, but I can pass if needed.
What's your quick question?
I just wanted to ask if trans kids were permitted to play on these teams or cheer.
Yeah, we haven't had that, but everyone can play. We don't have any speculations, or anyone can participate.
Anybody can?
Thank you.
Any more questions from the board members?
I'd like to hear the motion again.
Leger?
The motion on the floor is for $5,000 for Northeast Lincoln Tigers.
And it was for specifically what again?
It's there on your documents, supporting documents. It's $27.25 for helmets because the helmets have expired since COVID. Helmets only have a longevity of, I think, 1 year. So $16.30 for field permits and $6.45 for gym pads.
I have a
Thank you.
question. If on this vote for the 5,000, if you say no, it doesn't go down to the recommended amount, it just goes to 0, correct?
If we say no on the 5,000, we go back to consider the recommended amount.
Okay.
All right, so I would say we don't have any, there's no hands raised, so let's go to a vote. This is for the 5,000 for Northeast Lincoln Tigers. Sarah?
No.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
No.
Leger? Yes. William's not here. Nancy?
No.
Benny?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Armida?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
No.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Vincent?
No.
So we have 1 abstain, 1 absent. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no's. And the rest yays. 1, 2, 3.
13.
13.
Thank you. 13 yeses. So pass. Moving on to the next budget agenda item.
Yay.
Let's so that's the discussion and possible motion to approve Soledad Enrichment Action requesting $3,000 for community workshops to increase awareness about self-care and well-being. The budget committee recommends $1,500. Do we have anyone from SEA and the attendees to present, you have 1 minute to present if so. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So, do we have a motion on the floor? Does anyone want a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. So the motion is for the, just to clarify, it's for the $1,500 for the Soledad.
That is correct.
Thank you. So do we have any comment from the board? No. So do we have any comment from the public? No. So we are voting on $1,500 for Soledad enrichment action, just to clarify. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Leger? Yes. William is absent. Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vincente?
Abstain.
Armida?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Vincent?
Yes.
So that's 1 absent, 1 abstain, and the rest yeses. I can count this later. Let's move on to the next. That's approved. $15. So the next agenda item would be
L.
2000. Okay. Question and possible motion to approve an MPG application from the Lincoln Heights JV Varsity requesting $2,000 for possible water dispenser. It's for the field for the athlete.
I'm gonna recuse myself on this one.
Thank you, Benny. And I don't know if we still have a presentation, someone to present on it, but they spoke at the very beginning of the meeting. I don't see any hands up. So can we go to questions from the board?
Before that, I think I have to recuse myself as a Lincoln High School student.
Yes, she does.
Okay, thank you, Erica.
Okay.
Any other recusals, any questions? Okay.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yes.
My father works for Lincoln High School. Do I have to accuse myself? I probably should. I will. I'll recuse myself. Just in case.
Me. I don't know, maybe Vincent can speak on that?
Yeah, he could.
Okay.
I got one too. If I attended, would that count as well?
No, if you were a past attendee of Lincoln Heights High School, no.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. We're gonna vote. Unless,
You have to motion first.
yeah, thank you. Sorry.
I'll motion for the recommended amount by the budget committee.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll second that motion. So here we go. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
We first need to make sure we do the board comment and then public comment.
I'm sorry.
It's a long night.
Board comment. Any board members have a comment?
Don't see any board member comment.
Okay.
Public comment. Don't see any.
Okay.
Okay,
We're good to go.
so Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda,
Yes.
Leger, yes, William's not here. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Recused.
I'm sorry, recused, Benny's recused, Erica's recused, Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Vincente, abstain,
Abstain.
Armida,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego is recused. Richard
Yes.
Ortiz, Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 15 yeses, 1 abstain, 1 absent, 3 recusals. It is passed. Thank
Point.
you. Yes?
No, nothing. Thank you.
And the next item on the agenda, I don't even know if we need a vote on this, but I know we don't need a BAC, but it's a discussion and possible motion to approve a letter of support for LA Rivers Farmers Market. They applied for an MPG, the budget committee denied it. We didn't move it to the general meeting. Ben, can you clarify, does this need to be a general vote? Or Ben-
Yes, it'd be a general vote for the council to write a letter.
Okay,
You can just say if there's no objection.
if there's no objection to writing a letter of support for this organization's farmers market, we can approve that. There's no BAC or vote count needed.
Okay, what if there is an objection?
Then the person would have to speak up right now.
Okay, I object.
You object? Okay. And then what happens?
Now you have to go for a vote.
Okay, so let's do this vote. Who
There needs to be discussion.
floor for a vote, and we need a discussion.
Okay. So I object. So do I make a motion that I object?
Yes, I think if you make the motion to not approve,
Okay,
we can get a second on it and then go for discussion.
so I make the motion to not approve. Do we have a second?
I second.
I don't understand what's going on here. You can voice your yes or no-ness during the vote. We were going to try to save a few minutes here with all the other things we have before us, which I know is a concern to everyone, by not having to go through a vote. That was the whole point of if there's no objection. So now you want to vote. So let's vote.
Exactly. Do I have a second? We have a second.
There was a second. I'm not sure who did, but
Yes.
So I have a second, and so let's open it to board comments. Any board members have any comments? Vince,
Don't see any.
okay, do we have any public comments?
Don't see any.
No public comments, so we go to a vote now.
just to clarify, we're voting on a no for the Lincoln Heights letter, or sorry, for
Hold on just a minute. All of these things should accompany all the CAS that we're about to hear. They all require a vote. So we can vote without objection, which would be a unanimous vote, or we can record the vote. But at any rate, we need a vote, and it needs to be on the document.
We're about to vote, but I'm clarifying what we're voting on. If it was a motion to not approve, then we're voting to not approve this letter, in which case.
No. That's not the way we do it. So the motion is for approval, and whether we approve it or deny it is based upon the vote. So we don't need to say what the vote is going to be. We just say there's a motion and we're going to have a vote. That's it.
That's clear. Okay, so we're now going to vote because there was an objection to just moving forward without voting. So now we would, we're back to vote on, sorry.
We're just voting on the motion, that's all.
Vote on the motion, call the vote.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so if you vote yes, that means you want a letter in support. And if you vote no, that means you're not for a letter of support. We have one question from a board member, hand down or up, Victor?
Yeah, I was just gonna agree with Richard. We're just approving, just to clarify, approving what's on the agenda, correct?
Right. A
Gotcha.
yes vote would be a letter of support, a no vote would be a no letter of support.
All right, thank you.
Any questions from the public or comments? Okay, here we go. Oh, I don't have a BAC for this. Let's
7A. Oh no, whatever it is, 6J or something.
Sarah is no. Is that what I heard?
6M is the item, and then can you call the vote?
Yeah, I'm calling the vote right now, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, no.
Ben Wadsworth,
No.
Fernanda,
No, they do not cater to the Lincoln Heights community.
okay, Lejane, no, William's not here. I'm Nancy.
No.
Benny,
No.
Erica,
No.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee.
No.
No.
Lee says no too. No.
Melanie,
No.
Vincente,
Abstain.
abstain. Armida,
Yes.
Victor,
Abstain.
Diego,
No.
Richard Ortiz,
No.
Steve,
No.
Lena,
Nope.
Selena,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
So we have,
Oh, excuse me.
What?
Mark that as a no. Sorry about that. No.
woo, okay. So we have 1, 2, 3 yeses, 3 yeses,
14 no's.
3 yes, 14 no's. How many? One absent.
2 abstain.
Abstain.
Thank you. I didn't have a BAC prepared for this. I don't think it's needed at all. But that's our vote.
Great.
Thank you so much for putting up with the budget committee. I won't speak for a while. Bye.
All right, so now we move on to
Thank you,
item
Lejane.
7. We move on to item number 7, Planning and Land Use Committee, Pluck. Richard is the chair, Pluck. We'll go to 7A, discussion and possible action, CIS, Community Impact Statement on CF 201359. That is 141 West Avenue 34 for an upcoming 105 million TEFRA, $105 million TEFRA hearing. And the title of the document is called City Council Funding Luxury Housing with CSCDA Revenue Bonds. So
Why don't you go ahead? I don't mind you taking the lead on this at all.
you can go straight ahead. I just didn't know. I just read it.
Oh, well, I don't want to, you have as much at stake on this as anyone. What it is basically, is that, did you want to speak on that, Sarah?
Can you pull up the community impact statement?
Yeah, I have it here in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Take the reins. Take the reins.
Okay. So what's going on here is we had a transportation-oriented community. For those not staying tuned on this particular situation, is that up in Sacramento, they passed a bunch of laws that give opportunity to create more affordable housing on the basis of that the developers need some encouragement and they need financial support to find that particular subject interesting. So what they've done is this particular project was deemed a transportation-oriented community because it's near the Heritage Square Gold Line station, and they proceeded to meet with us, and the Planning and Land Use Committee heard them a number of times, and we ultimately voted against it, but we waited until there was a city planning commission hearing on it because we found that there was 140 local people, stakeholders who live close to where this project is happening. I don't know if everybody knows where 141 Avenue 34 is, but it's just up past 5 Points, 5 or 6 blocks, and it's a big property that was formerly used by the Ortiz Brothers Moving Company. At any rate, this planning commission, above our objections because, well, anyway, that's another subject. They voted to approve the project, and then since that time, the appellants had already applied for I think it was 20 some million dollars to be used from public funds for tax exempt bonds. Well, what they've done since that time is that they immediately upon approval by the City Planning Commission, that they applied to the Department of City Planning to split the lot. And now what they've done, it's very clever, they've split the lot so that the 3 buildings that comprise this TOC, the luxury apartment is now on one of these lots. And they're legally allowed to claim that they're applying now for another $105 million so that that supposedly will be applied to the low income units. But the odd thing is what they're really doing is they're giving themselves, through the actions of the city council, a removal of $105 million from the state of California, which otherwise could be spent on affordable housing. If you look around our streets, especially Avenue 24, you'll see that there's an urgent need for that. And we're objecting to it in this specific community impact statement. So anyway, that's basically it. We're saying that this TEFRA hearing, which is TEFRA just means it's a tax related hearing, and that a proper proper notice has been given, and which is debatable. They always announce these things a half an hour before they're going to be voted on. This was already up last May 4th, a week ago Friday, for a vote, and we were able to block it at that time, and now we're back again for this vote. It's occurring on May 18th. We're not sure if we're going to be able to weigh in, but the CIS allows us more time to speak on this item once it comes up before the City Council. I think I covered it. Sarah, did you have anything more to add?
So also, we are able to appoint an emissary from the board to address the City Council on that date. And that would, so we would submit the community impact statement and a letter or summary. And then we would have an appointed person. So we will also need to appoint somebody.
Can you speak up a little bit, Sarah?
Oh, sorry. We would need to appoint somebody to be an emissary to the board, an emissary to the City Council board at this council hearing, City Council hearing on May 18th. That this community impact statement is related to. So that's all I have to say. So the letter itself, so I guess motion to approve the statement, I guess I'll call that motion.
I second.
Okay. Or discussion? Anybody have anything to say about this community impact statement? It's the document itself. I mean, it's not visible on the screen right now, but it's on the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council website right now. So you should have seen it already. But it's against the $105 million in bonds for 67 affordable units. That comes out to $1.87 million per unit. So yeah, we oppose. And so any board questions? No?
Yeah, Ligier, hold on.
Okay, Leger.
Are we appointing an emissary at the same time? Include that in the motion?
Vince, what should we do?
Yeah, I think add it into the motion, but you have to appoint somebody.
Okay. I nominate Fernanda. I appoint Fernanda. Is that how I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
appointed.
I second that appointment.
Great. And so we'll move on to board comments. Any comments? Vince? Okay, we're good.
Yeah, no board comment. I don't see any, but public comment.
Okay, we're moving on to public comments. So we have,
Hold on, we have, two public comments. Michael Hayden.
yeah. Michael, hi.
Hi, excuse me.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks. I just wanted to update everybody and say that the developers, you may already know this, but they've said for a year that they tested the site for dry cleaning waste from Welch's, and they repeated that light here at the Neighborhood Council and at CPC hearings, but last month they signed a plan with DTSC where they agreed that the contamination was likely. They admitted that they had never tested, and they're finally requiring them to test the soil. They started doing that this week, but we've looked at their testing plan, and it's really inadequate because they don't test for all chemicals that might be there. They only have to report 22% of the samples they take, which could be a way to get out of submitting unfavorable results. I think it's really unbelievable that the city council could approve this money in taxpayer subsidized funding before the city has even assured us that it can be safe, or before the state has weighed in on that. So I would just, make sure that that they hear that our community is concerned about it, and urge you all to vote no on that.
Thank you, Michael. Vince, can you?
Mario Lopez.
Mario? Hello? Did
Hi,
you-
can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Hi.
All right, thank you. My concern is Michael created a nonprofit called Lincoln Heights Community Coalition. And it's about 5 gentrified from New York artists. And there's, I think, what's his name? Lepore? Joseph Lepore owns like 5 properties right there on Avenue 34, right across the street from the lot. So my concern is, why is Michael and Joseph creating a nonprofit, and their mission is to actually diversify Lincoln Heights? And then my second concern is that, why would the new Lincoln Heights Council deny a Latino film festival donation for at least $1,200 and give Northeast Trees $5,000? My concern is these new gentrifiers are coming in and taking over the new council, creating nonprofits to gentrify Lincoln Heights. That is my concern.
Okay, that's your time. Thank you very much. So let's move to a vote now.
If there's no objection, we can, is anybody objecting to approving the CIS?
Any objections? Victor has a raised hand.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him, and I put him into a panelist right now.
Yeah, sorry, I lost the reception, so I had to log on and back again. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna, like Richard said, we're gonna take this to a vote, right? So are there any objections to this community impact statement? Vince, do you see any objections?
No, there are no objections on my side.
Okay, so we all vote yes then, right? Correct?
Unanimous.
Unanimous, all right.
Let's go to the next one then. The next one is on mansions in poverty and amidst poverty. So what the issue here is, we had a large, supposedly single-family home being built within what we consider to be flat top, and the Department of City Planning approved it. It was based, their application was based upon a number of things. First of all, it's located in an R20 zone. Historically, R20 zones were the ways in which our community protected flat top. It was, R20 means that you need a 20,000 square foot lot, and none of those lots were sized to that. Anyway, it's a long, complicated story. If anybody who loves land use, they can ask me about it later. But the enormous house was approved, even though we objected to the number of retaining walls, and we want to send this. We didn't invent this problem of, people coming to Lincoln Heights and building huge houses that are multiple times bigger than any home here. This is not a single-family house, in my opinion, but without talking about the project specifically, I'm not here to create bias, but I'm just trying to look for everyone's support in approving this community impact statement. It reads fairly simply as we're challenged with low income and We have applicants building luxury homes all over our what would be formerly open space, our treasured flat top. And we complained about the engineering aspects and that there's seismic hazards and there's other unsafe conditions with soft hillsides. And there was never any attempt really to address those things. So we're writing this community impact statement. If there's no objection, I'd like to have a unanimous vote on it. Any questions?
No. So motion to, well, okay, so any board member questions? No questions? Any community stakeholders or any public questions?
Don't see any.
Okay, so let's go for a vote. Yeah, anybody opposed? Raise your hand. Is there anybody opposed? No? Okay, so it's unanimous. Yes.
Thank you. Let's go on to the next one. We have quite a few here. Okay. This is number 4. The Department of City Planning, actually it was right after the 141 hearing, they decided to increase the fees for appealing. Now you have to imagine that Michael, who was just speaking here, Michael Hayden, who is still part of our attendees here, had to come up with money to ask the city planning, Department of City Planning, to review the documents and complaints that we found. They found they weren't listening and they weren't responding to. And so he had to raise the interest of not only the people in his immediate surrounding, but try to raise interest and participation, financial participation in funding an appeal. Okay, so after that, what happened is the city planning decided, well, gee, that's a lot of work for us to have to listen to all these people. I think there was like, I don't know, 2,500 people at the hearing. And by the way, that hearing, the vote was going in favor of the applicants, the appellants, and the Commissioner Samantha Millman tabled the vote. I didn't know that was legal. But the vote was tabled and then it was brought back up, and as some of us know here, there were paid callers and other improprieties going on. But the city, since that time, city planning has decided to raise the fee to $16,000 for an appeal instead of the $109 that it cost for the original appeal on Avenue 34. This vote, this is not exactly a brand new community impact statement because we had issues before with quorum. But if there's no objection, I'd like the board to vote unanimously on this community impact statement to oppose the increase of planning fees to $16,000 or any number above the existing. Thank you.
So are there any board member questions? Raise your hand, please. Vince, do you see any questions? Huh? No raised hands, I guess. Okay, so any community questions? Any public comment questions? Here's public comments. Vince, do you see any public comments? No? All right, so
No.
I'm gonna call for a vote. So anybody opposed? No? So I guess the vote is unanimous yes in support of this community impact statement.
Okay, so the final one is on council file.
You did miss one, you missed C.
Which one?
C for the, oh wait, was that the land use
E.
zoning ballot measure?
Yeah, I think that's one we're on now, 20-1042. Let's take a look at that. We are submitting this letter for file regarding the proposed ballot measure for zoning in the city. I don't know if everybody's been aware of it, but there's a number of things going on with city planning. They have this thing called the housing element. We are all subject to something that's called a community overlay zone and community design overlays. And, you know, this is above and beyond the historic district that a lot of our community sits in. But basically, it's the document that the Department of City Planning looks at to see how we want our community handled with land use. And one of these things that they have going on is, again, a biased Sacramento thing about the city is still trying to push market rate housing, even though it's out of reach by most of us here in Lincoln Heights. I mean, is anybody here ready to spend upwards of $3,000 a month on a rental? Anyway, the city must do more to preserve LA's rent-stabilized RSO housing stock. Due to the state law known as the Ellis Act, too many RSO units have been demolished or taken off the rental housing market to make way for luxury housing. So that's basically the thrust of it. Under Assembly Bill 1505, known as the Palmer Fix, there's a legal right to implement and enforce inclusionary zoning. The city no longer needs to encourage affordable housing production by means of incentivization through density housing programs, density bonus programs. The city must require housing to be built at ELI and VLI levels. That's extremely low income. Anyway, for those here that support more affordable housing, this is the community impact statement that we'd like to vote on unanimously and present it to the city council.
Any board member? Thank you, Richard. Any board member questions or comments?
I don't see any.
Okay, any public comments? Please raise your hand if you're a public commenter or press *9.
Don't see any.
Any board members opposed? Raise your hand. It's all good. Okay, so the vote is unanimous support for this community impact statement.
Thank you. So now we have, finally, I want to thank the proponents that have been sitting here this entire time. Would you please make Noah Riley and his team part of the panelists for discussion of item 7E? It's regarding a renovation of a 5,730 square foot addition to an existing 2,922 square foot commercial building with a new parking lot with 10 at-grade spaces at 2613 Pasadena, which is just a few feet beyond 5 Points. Noah, I'm giving you the floor. Would you like to, Jesse, I'd like you to speak up. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what this is all about.
Yeah, great. Jesse, you're muted.
I'll go first. I'm Jesse Thorne. I'm the owner of MaximumFun.org and the founder. We're the folks trying to expand this building. We are an audience-supported podcast network that started with my public radio show, Bullseye, and is now expanded to something like 25 or 30 podcasts in the areas of comedy and culture. We've been based for a long time in MacArthur Park, but we wanted to no longer be renters. So we bought the building that formerly was 5 Points Hardware, with an eye towards making it our permanent home. And basically, we found upon buying the building that while it was up to early 1990s seismic code, in order to do anything in the building, we would have to upgrade it to current seismic code, which was a very complicated and expensive operation. And the combination of that and some expansion in our staff meant that basically there was a pretty modest difference in cost between building an entire second floor and seismically stabilizing the existing building. So we decided to build a second floor so we would have more office space. it's our plan to occupy this building in the long term. We're not developers. We're not planning to rent space out. This is going to be where we're making my public radio show Bullseye and a number of our other podcasts. I live nearby and have for a really long time. I live on Glen Albin, right up from Pasadena and Figueroa, a block up from Pasadena and Figueroa, and I'm actually moving down that block to a house on Avenue 41. So I think I'm in the Arroyo Seco neighborhood council, but I'm very close by to the office. And I'm interested in being part of the community, and we are moving to Lincoln Heights because I love Lincoln Heights, not because we are trying to change Lincoln Heights. I grew up in a neighborhood in San Francisco, the Mission District, that is very much like Lincoln Heights, or was before Mark Zuckerberg moved there. And the reason I want to be in Lincoln Heights is because it feels like home to me. So Noah can talk briefly about what the actual building is. Noah, you want to talk about what we're actually doing?
Sure, yeah, and Richard, do you want us to run through the presentation we presented to the Land Use Committee?
Would the board like to see what this what this will look like? Yes, I see some heads nodding.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Noah.
Let me just share a screen here. I think screen sharing is disabled right now.
Can we allow Noah to present his document?
Give me 1 second. Okay, try it now. I'm gonna make you a co-host, and it should give you the option.
Okay. There we go. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. All right, well, I know it's the end of a long night for everyone, so we'll try to move quickly through it, but happy to answer questions either as we go through, or if we'll obviously can field questions at the end. As Jesse introduced himself, he is the owner of Maximum Fund. Maximum Fund being our client for this project. We're Riley Projects. We're an architecture and construction company, works throughout the Los Angeles community on everything from residential, single and multifamily to commercial projects. Jesse's done a good job of introducing himself. I won't repeat anything about him and his great organization, other than that they have been a joy to work with, and it's been fun to figure out how to turn this property into the next iteration of its life. This is myself and our team. Again, we're a small design and build team. We're based in Culver City and work again from east side to the west side of LA. On the property on Pasadena Avenue, near the intersection with Avenue 26. I imagine most of you are familiar with the facade. So the site that the building that was purchased was this 5 Points hardware store, and then also the adjacent vacant lot next to it. So just a few photos just to orient you to the building and some of the surrounding context. Just to the if you're facing the vacant lot in the building to the left, there's the appliance repair shop right in the corner here, and then to the right, building number 2 is an apartment building, actually a 3-story structure, and then just down the street, adjacent to that is the Boys and Girls Club. So just to orient you on the proposed building, so the existing single-story brick building that Jesse alluded to is unreinforced masonry and requires significant seismic upgrading. That said, I think we as a design team and Jesse and his group as owners and future occupants of the property really wanted to figure out a way to work with that and preserve it to some degree and incorporate it into the future of the site. So that was one of our design mandates that we were all really excited about solving. The proposal is to maintain that brick building actually and do some significant, as Jesse alluded to, significant seismic upgrades, and then basically to add a second story over the brick building and over the adjacent vacant lot, and use the vacant lot itself for parking. So this is a first floor plan, just to orient you all again. On the right-hand side is where Pasadena Avenue is. This sort of trapezoidal shape at the bottom is the existing brick building that has been repurposed into recording studios for Jesse's team to do the podcasts that they produce, and then some other small sort of ancillary support spaces. And then the vacant lot gets transformed into parking for the office space.
No,
The second floor.
I just want to interject quickly here about that parking. That right now, the significant majority of our staff commutes by public transportation. Obviously, right now we're right next to the Westlake Metro station. So being near the Metro was sort of a mandate for us because our staff really wants to continue to take the bus and train to work.
Yeah, and to that end, there's required bike parking that we were, of course, excited to include. But we also have a shower on the ground floor bathroom here so that people can actually Jesse was enthusiastic about encouraging employees to find alternative modes of commuting to and from work. So bike and of course foot being viable ways to also get to the building, but a bathroom with a shower just to help facilitate people, making it easier to imagine biking to work. And if you need to take a shower and change when you get there, you can. Second floor is largely just some private offices and then some open workspace. And one thing that is probably not as germane to a planning conversation, but we're excited about it, is how we're building the building. So we're planning on using a fairly innovative building technology that is using something called cross-laminated timber, which is a very sustainable, low carbon building system. It's basically all wood timber construction, and should both be a very fast mode of construction, so to reduce the disruption to the neighborhood, and also just creates a very healthy and low impact overall building assemblage. So again, not a planning specific criteria concern, but something that we're excited about and I think is indicative of the general MO of Jesse and his team's operation. So again, just to revisit the adjacent properties and the site, just to situate yourself to the left of the building proposal, which is right here. There's an existing 2-story structure, and then to the right is this existing, it's actually 3 stories, ground floor parking and 2 residential floors above it. And then
Make a quick comment.
yeah, sure.
Zoom is 6 to 9. Vince, will this Zoom shut off at 9 o'clock?
It shouldn't. It should just keep going. Let me see if I can extend
Keeps
it on
going?
my end.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and I will wrap up in very briefly.
Okay.
I apologize.
It would just go and shut off.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that too. So just real quick, so existing brick facade, while we looked into preserving actually the paint that is and the signage that's on there, which has some really great character, we determined that both as a ongoing maintenance issue and also just given the condition of some of the paint, but and the graffiti maintenance issues, that it would make more sense to preserve the building, but probably repaint the brick and then maintain it with this new structure that is a combination of smooth stucco and breeze block, which is a sort of screened cement block, to create a sort of semi-porous facade with planters behind it to create some sort of depth and also greenery in the facade to help soften the landscape. And so just in conclusion, the building is, again, the sort of existing brick building that you can read running through to the side, and then these breeze block screens with planter behind, and then the office space within that. So with that, I will turn it back over to, I guess, Richard, yourself, and happy to answer any questions if they come up.
Thank you very much, Jesse and Noah. Do any board members have any questions?
I do. Hold on. I'll let people go ahead of us. The panelists.
Yeah.
Fernanda.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I have questions for both Jesse and Noah. I'll go ahead and start with Jesse. You mentioned expansion staff. By curiosity, did you hire any Lincoln Heights locals?
No, as I mentioned, right now we're based in Westlake. We have a few staff members who do live in Westlake, so they'd probably be commuting by metro from there. And then, you know, our staff is mostly scattered around Northeast LA. I don't know where everybody lives. And I know there's a couple folks who live in Long Beach and take the train in.
Okay,
I think in the future, it's definitely something we'd love to do. And we actually have a production fellowship program for folks who have no professional and very limited experience in audio production and podcasting that's focused on underserved voices, and is a 1-year paid full-time with benefits position that has led to the hiring of a lot of our production staff permanently.
Thank you. I'm curious to know what your connection with Lincoln Heights is. Why is it, what made you choose to have your business in Lincoln Heights?
Well, I timed it yesterday, and I live a 3-minute and 20-second drive away. So it's part of my neighborhood. I mean, as I said, I kind of live in the intersection of Mount Washington, Montecito Heights, Highland Park, and Lincoln Heights, but I live very nearby and have for about 11 years now. I'm counting backwards from how old my oldest child is. You know, there's a grocery store. I think it's the Smart and Final that's on that corner. That's where I buy groceries. You know, I like to get carne en su jugo down the street the other direction. Before they moved, the folks from the hardware store moved to Garvanza. That hardware store was where I went when I needed a shower head or whatever. So yeah, I like it there.
Thank you.
So Melanie, did you have a question?
I'm not finished. I have another question. The other one is for Noah. Does your company, Noah, have any other development projects in Lincoln Heights?
In Lincoln Heights? No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Diego, are you done, Fernanda? Okay, Diego.
Thank you. So my question was regarding the original tenants of the property. So I used to be a patron of that hardware store, and I hadn't been there for years. So I was just curious to know whether they owned the building and you purchased it from them, or what happened.
Yeah, my understanding is that they own the building. I think that the guys who ran the hardware store worked for a sort of semi-absentee owner, and he basically wanted to retire. So I don't think they were renting for him. I think they were working for him, but they moved the store when they sold the building. So they're out by like Figueroa in York now, I think in Garvanza or something.
Thank you.
Okay, Melanie.
Go ahead.
Hi, thanks for your presentation, guys. Jesse, I just am curious if you've been involved at all in the happenings of Lincoln Heights, especially over the last year and a half. I'm sure I don't need to say, I mean, you've been in our meeting here today, listening to all those points on the Pluck committee from the Pluck. I'm just wondering if you've had any action with us in our outreach or taking part in any of the things that have been going on regarding Avenue 34 Flat Top, Tenants Union, et cetera. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to be entirely frank, during COVID, I have 3 small children and have kind of been in family crisis. One of them had a sort of continuing health crisis. So I have hardly even been to the office virtually in the last 18 months or so, whatever it is, 15 months. I did go to a cleanup event on Flat Top, had a nice time with my mom, cleaning up there. And, you know, I think, you know, I don't, I don't know if anybody wants to take Noah's word for it, because he's a pretty white dude who's based in Culver City. But, you know, throughout this design process, one of my biggest priorities was to respect and value the contributions of our neighbors and try and build a space that, you know, would be pretty and something that we could be proud of, but not something that would not something that would suggest outsiders coming in. As I said, like, I grew up in the Mission in San Francisco, and it was heavily gentrified when I was a teenager in the mid 1990s, and then again when I was about 20, even more profoundly. And you know, I was owner move in evicted, and I marched with the Mission Anti-Displacement Coalition. There's still a sign on my wall in my bedroom that I keep from them, and it's really important to me. And I hope that Max Fun will get the chance to continue to work with both the neighborhood council and folks in the community to protect what Lincoln Heights is now, because that's the reason we're moving. We're not moving to you know, take advantage of luxury apartments moving in and hope our per square foot value goes up and then sell. We're quite the opposite. Like, our concern is losing our current space because of increases in rents. And the reason we wanted to own was to be able to protect against that.
Thank you, Jesse. Annalee?
Yeah, I was going to ask, you had mentioned how the fabric of the mission had been changed from Mark Zuckerberg coming in, and I just wanted to know how you think that your project would differ compared to that.
I don't intend to put in a car turntable, which I think Mark Zuckerberg put into his and his wife's house in the mission. I mean, I think that I mean, we're not a .com company. We're not rich. As I mentioned, we're audience supported. Like, we're supported by folks who voluntarily give us a few bucks a month because we make programs that they value in their life. And, you know, our hope is to be part of the community, not to change things.
It would be an expansion though. So, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, if you know, what is to say that the business, when it can grow with a larger space. And when I was looking at the plans, there was part of it that was the part that was not where the podcast studios was. It was kind of vague as to what that space was going to be. So I didn't know if that's just, for more growth and expansion, which is, you know, and then at what point would, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you what that situation is. I think when we first bought the property, our staff was around 20, and now it's around 30. We do have expectation that in the next decade it'll grow a little, but we're not like, it's not a company that's built to expand exponentially. It's something that the first 10 or 12 years was literally just me in my living room. Like I was making my public radio show at my desk like this. And it's not, we've never had investor capital. We've never had any borrowed capital of any kind until we bought this building. So like we're not built to grow fast. We do have expectation that we'll probably hire some producers and a couple of business people over the next 5 years, but I'm talking about like five or seven people.
Just to clarify, you said that you didn't have any investor funding until you bought this building?
No, we don't have any investor funding. We borrowed money to buy the building. Like we have a mortgage, but that's it.
Thank you, Jesse. Annalee, do you feel like you've been answered? Your questions have been answered? I'd like to go on to Vincent. I think.
Yeah, I think I got it right. Like when Annalee was saying, my concern is that, unfortunately, just the design alone, the expansion of it is the very face of what we look at as gentrification. It changes the whole neighborhood, the look. Another thing that concerns me is, most people in business, they're not dumb. They do their research, their finances. You were a renter. You mentioned that you were, if I'm not mistaken, San Francisco, where you had the same issue. But you would move down here to purchase because there's some expectancy that this rent's going to get crazy, right? So that's an investment projection in the growth in the neighborhood. But at the same time, it's changing the whole economic look of our neighborhood. Whether it's intended or not, you will benefit from it. And sometimes there's smart investments to build in poor neighborhoods. And when I look at the expansion on top, that also gives me the outlook of your guys' business model, like you were stating earlier, is we do expect to grow. And I think sometimes just by having that expectation on investment gives other people, which it may be direct or indirect to gentrification, but that people, just by seeing the building, by seeing the progress of the company, that this would be something that someone would say, hey, I could buy on that side. It's already developed here and we can keep going. And we see that in our neighborhood as these buildings, there's just one down the road from there that was an old antique shop that got bought out, sold out, and now is changing the face of the neighborhood, right? So that's what concerns me about this project particularly, is that in my eyes, I look at it and Annalee kind of hit a lot of things I was thinking in my head about it. And then again, it's just, when I hear people buying, which is the trend with owners of corporations now or businesses, is that they understand that this area is probably going to grow one day. So I'm pretty sure you sat with somebody and you didn't just point and say, that's the property I'm going to buy, but where was the smart place to buy and build? And eventually we can't leave out that the capital wasn't talked about, the possibility of purchasing at a price. And then later down the road, as we cannot hold you accountable now, any business or you selling the building down the road. So there's nothing we can do now to hold that other than to point it out that that's something that we have no control over in the community.
First I want to clarify a couple of things that maybe I said inelegantly. I grew up in San Francisco, but I've lived in Los Angeles for I think it's 16 years, and I've lived down the road for 11 or 12. So I've been in the neighborhood a really long time. We're currently based in Westlake on MacArthur Park. We were looking in Westlake and near my house. Those were the two neighborhoods that we were looking in. We weren't looking in them because we thought they were good investment opportunities. We just wanted the stability of owning our own building because we were concerned about not having the control of rents as renters, and because we kind of have to be in Los Angeles to do our business. Like if rents went out of control in LA, there's just no way to run our business in Fresno or something. So we wanted to own the building for long-term stability.
Thank you, Jesse.
In terms of selling the building, our expectation is that it's our permanent headquarters forever. If there are things about the aesthetics of the building that we can change that would feel more comfortable, I am sincerely open to that. That is definitely a concern. A significant part of the aesthetics of the building are to accommodate specific planning rules about things like fenestration and coloring and stuff like that we kind of have to do for the planning people. But yeah, I'm sincerely open. So.
Thank you, Jesse. Vincent, do you think or was your question responded to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jesse.
On the attendee side, we have an attendee by the name of Puppet. Could we allow Mr. or Mrs. Puppet to participate?
Yes. So again, here we have the gentrifiers wearing their masks. Yes.
I would like to have a person
taking out the nice vestiges, all the nice little signages. They say they can't maintain what was there, our little hardware store, where all the little poor people used to go and get things at quality, value, and service. And now as you see the rendering, all white with stone and brick, and not a single vestige of what was there for the many decades in this lower middle class but very proud community.
Do you have a question, Mr. Puppet?
Yeah, do you have a question? Well, no, this is a public comment, and
no, we're asking if you have a question for the
It
presenter.
is public comment.
Is it public? Well, it's a public comment. That's what I thought. Yeah, but you're a puppet. Ow! No, stick to the topic. All right. Yeah.
I'd love to respond to both Puppet and their goat.
Yes, Mr. Zuckerberg.
The colors are prescribed by planning, so there's only so much that we can do about that. And yeah, I mean, we were trying to figure out how to preserve the facade because it's so great. I mean, like the reason we wanted to buy the building, honestly, like Noah put it as like, I want to preserve the building because I just love that building and always have. And the facade is part of that, but it's already getting tagged up. It's pieced up on the parking lot side, which, isn't the worst thing in the world, but we've had to do a lot of painting on the front. And so we just think that even if we preserve the facade, ultimately we're probably going to have to paint over it because if it gets tagged, there's not that much we can do to preserve it besides paint over it. So if the facade is important to folks, I'm glad to try and keep it because I love it, but we're worried that it's just going to continue to get tagged up and we're just going to have to paint over it.
Thank you, Jesse. Melanie, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Puppet said. If you can find a way to keep that facade, I think that would be just show some good faith to the community. If you guys do end up moving forward with this, your building's gonna get tagged no matter what. It's part of living in Lincoln Heights. And that's not always looked at as a bad thing to all of us. So just something to consider.
Yeah, sure. I mean, basically the issue is that I think we can probably keep if you look at the picture that Noah's showing here, that top part up there, I think that's too high for anybody to tag. Like that wouldn't be worth the effort unless somebody was putting up a big piece. I think we can probably preserve that. The main thing is basically the bottom part, especially the sides. We just have a hard time with keeping restored. Like because it would require, we don't have a sign painter on staff, you know what I mean? But I'm definitely open to keeping the top if people feel like that's good. Basically, the only concern that we had about keeping it was basically balancing the fact that it was a great facade and pretty and part of why we bought the building and like an old friend in the neighborhood, and also like basically not wanting to be insincere about keeping it. It could be it could feel you know, tokenistic or yeah, like I said, insincere. So I'm open to feedback on that, because I was like 60-40, we should keep it. But mostly it was like like the first time it gets tagged up, like it's kind of busted because it's hard to restore.
Thank you, Jesse. Are there any other questions from board members we haven't heard from? Okay, so we're getting into 3 hours and 10 minutes here. I'd like to move on a vote unless there's no objection. Would our
Yeah, it's myself who's calling the vote.
Go ahead.
Sarah,
No.
Ben,
Yes.
it's a no for me. Leger,
No.
Nancy,
No.
William is not here. Benny,
No.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
No.
Melanie,
No.
Can I skip class?
Vicente Gonzalez,
Abstain.
Armida,
Yes.
Annalee, oh no, Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Ugh, it's hard. No.
Richard Ortiz,
No.
Steve,
No.
Lena,
No.
Selena,
Abstained.
Vincent,
No.
Erica.
No.
All right, that's 1 absent, 2 abstain, 13 no, 4 yeses.
Thank you very much. So that concludes the final Planning and Land Use Committee portion of the agenda.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. It is now 9:14. I'm going to move to item number 8, new business. Do we have any new business? I don't know what new business is, but
Anything anybody has in the community they might want the executive committee to review, anything.
okay, so new business.
Yeah, if we don't have nothing, you could always submit it to the executive.
You can always email our executive committee, our president, treasurer, or secretary. Okay. Any new business? No.
Hold, Diego had his hand up.
I have a question. When is this next meeting for the next executive board meeting?
Well,
Or rather, okay, essentially, let me backtrack. I would like to bring a new agenda item for the next neighborhood council meeting. Is this when I do this? I have no idea what I'm doing.
Vince, can you tell him?
Yeah, you could do it now. Just
Okay,
briefly.
cool.
Yeah, briefly.
Cool. So essentially, I would like to bring, for 4th of July, Northeast Trees, last year we closed Flat Top Park because of COVID and fire risk. And this time I'm really trying to ensure that the organization, if we do close the park at all during 4th of July, that it's receptive to the community. So I'd like to just bring that up as a line item before the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so Fernanda takes a record of that, right, Vince? Okay, so Bernie has that. Thank you.
Anna Lee has her hand up.
Anna Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I just wanted to ask, since we had you here, Vincent, somebody had inquired with me about putting something on the agenda. And so that's just something that I would have them send an email to.
The executive committee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, and Leger?
I just wanted to let everyone know that though I promised to be quiet at the next meeting, we do have to approve our next fiscal year budget, ideally at the next meeting. So if anyone, I'll be drafting that now. And I know last year's exceptional. All the money went to MPGs because we didn't do anything in person. So if anyone has suggestions, especially as you start to sign up for committees, if your committee needs certain funding, start sending it my way so I can start including it in a draft budget. And it's just a draft. Once we get it approved, it can be amended every month and funds reallocated. But that we should get it approved so that the city allows us access to our funds. That's all.
Excellent. Okay, so
Leger, did you put your hand up again?
No.
I mean, Anna Lee, sorry.
Also, I don't have necessarily a detailed and specific agenda item, but something that maybe I don't know if that's something that we can dialogue about. Just I know that the Avenue 26 is getting a little bit crazy over here. So I don't know. Parking has been getting out of control, and people just besides the issue of no parking, there's people's driveways are getting blocked, fire hydrants are getting blocked, people are peeing everywhere. It's like kind of a mess. I don't know. Anyway,
welcome to Lincoln Heights.
I don't know. It's pretty bad over there. Never been there before.
Yeah, drag racing up a street.
Yeah.
It's, one way. I don't know. I don't want to turn down my street and like get smashed. But
That can be referred to the field deputy for CD1.
Okay.
Okay.
Jose Rodriguez. All right. So any more hands raised for board member new business?
None on our. No, I don't see any on board.
Any public comment? Public new business comments? No?
I see none.
I want to hear more about that goat guy.
And then, no, okay, so we'll move on to item number 9, public comments on non-agenda items, 1 minute. So if anybody in the public has one last little comment they want to
Okay, we have 1 minute from Puppet.
Puppet, let's roll. I'm timing you.
Okay.
Yes. So again, if you need anything, call the great Gil Cedillo, 213-473-7001, and bitch about every problem, just like Goat Puppet does. Gil takes care of Goat Puppet, and that's why he doesn't tear him apart on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Yes, unlike Nuri, who thinks she's going to be mayor. I urge a no vote on that, yes. Keep up the good work. Get rid of the Zuckerbergs. Get rid of these fakes. $1.5 million for that property. He's trying to make $4 million profit. We will stop them. Cleaning the streets up on a Sunday night. Goat Puppet again wins. Stopping another developer in his tracks. You think so? Yes, now they'll have to buy the council member and pay off the building and safety department. And now that's too much money, especially with the FBI. And let's hope that Jose Weezer keeps talking to the feds. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Puppet.
Thank you.
To adjourn the meeting.
See you next time, Puppet.
Okay, so we got any more comments here? Vince, can you pick the best? Pick them?
I do right here, Pedro Ramirez. Give me 1 second.
Picky.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. I just wanted to welcome everybody that's new to the council. I want to say that this first meeting was kind of a whirlwind and that Puppet thing was out of left field, but I want to welcome all the new guys. And then I wanted a quick clarification. So earlier when they were talking about the fees for the appeal, it went from 109 to 16,000, like with 3 zeros.
Yeah.
If that's not a perfect example of systematic oppression, then I don't know what is. Good luck, guys. It looks like it's gonna be a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank
Pedro.
you.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, that's it for public.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I noticed that there's some up, Armida and Melanie and Erica.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so let me go first, Armida.
What happened to our local civil servant allies, like the fire department, police department, and Rodriguez from CD1? Aren't they supposed to be part of our general monthly board meetings?
Jose was at the meeting at the 13th. And then the fire, basically, these are a lot of, all of these items were pre-existing items, except for maybe, I don't know. These are all older items.
But and remember, this is the first meeting, so the next one should have all the elected officials, the representatives from the field office, and you know, they'll create the agenda and the executive. I think that's an item that should be set to them.
Yeah.
It was also a special meeting on a Sunday night.
Yeah, it was pushed.
Let me see, Erica.
Hello, I'm not sure if this is the right place to bring it up, but this may be one of my last meeting. My term ends when I graduate, and I am graduating in May 10th. So yeah, I'd like to bring that up.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Erica.
Good job, Erica.
Thank you
Great
job.
Thank you for your
Proud of you.
service. Congrats, Erica.
Thank you, Erica.
Okay, Melanie.
I just
And
want to
then
say
that's-
everybody did such a good job. This is the first meeting I've attended that we got through the entire agenda, and everyone did just awesome. I'm so happy to be here with all of you.
Thank you, Melanie.
Yes, we just got to shorten it just a teeny bit, but I think everyone did good.
Too long. Or, 3.5 hours. Okay, so I will adjourn. We will adjourn. So do I have to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Bah.
Aye.
Bye.
All right.
Good night.
All right, everyone. Good night.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.